There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415. Or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stop buying gold online. Edelman's Coins is the Philadelphia area's largest buyer and seller of gold and silver bullion. Family owned for 99 years, Edelman's Coins has continued to provide ultra-competitive pricing paired with unparalleled customer service. With transparent buy-sell spreads, you know you will always get a fair deal. When buying or selling bullion or coins, think Edelman's Coins. Call 215-572-6480 or visit edelmanscoins.com.
Tastykake has a treat for every John. Peanut butter fans have candy cakes, the chocolate-coated cakes with a creamy layer of peanut butter inside. You like the simple classics? Crimpets are light sponge cakes topped with rich icing. Donut lovers have options for days. You've got frosted mini donuts, powdered mini donuts, and can't forget about the delicious Dippin' Sticks flavors. I mean, there's so many uniquely satisfying treats to choose from. But that's no surprise because it's Tastykake, except no substitutes.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in, and I bring you hope from the front lines. Just back from that big meeting we told you about in Avalon with Scott Presler and party chairs and donors and the Protect the Whales people, etc. Oh, my goodness. Scott Presler in person is beyond dynamic, talking about what he does and how it works and what's going to happen in New Jersey. He'll be here at 2 today. He tweeted out this morning that the Pennsylvania registration numbers are incredible. The gains for Republicans here. And these are all part of the long term. I mean, he was talking about 2028 on Saturday. So he'll be here. We'll break that down. We'll continue every Monday at 2 o'clock with him. But my attention is both California, but I want to start with the January 6 pardons. J.D. Vance was on exclusively with Shannon Bream yesterday. I'm going to play you what Vance said about it. And I think this is two things. One, Trump essentially never said he was going to pardon every single person. You know, he's in his own Trumpian way and all that. And yet I'm seeing headlines on Twitter saying, oh, man, people are upset by this. Are you? Two, what Vance said he wouldn't say unless the administration was behind it. He's not going to go out there and say what he said without, maybe not word by word, without being in sync with Trump. So here's what J.D. Vance said about the January 6 pardons. I hope something happens on inaugural day. and I think they're looking at this case by case, which is exactly my position. Cut 7. I'm sorry, cut my fault. Cut 10.
What's the deal with Greenland and the Panama Canal? Are we using or considering use of military force in any of those situations?
No, look, we don't have to use military force, Shannon. The thing that people always ignore is we already have troops in Greenland. Greenland is really important for America strategically. It has a lot of great natural resources. My friend Donald Trump Jr. was there a couple days ago, and you know what they told him? They want to be empowered to develop. The people of Greenland want to be empowered to develop the resources there. We also need to make sure that Greenland is properly cared for from an American security perspective. And frankly, the current leadership, the Danish government, has not done a good enough job of securing Greenland. I think there actually is a real opportunity here for us to take leadership to protect America's security, to ensure that those incredible natural resources are developed. And that's what Donald Trump is good at. He's good at making deals, and I think there's a deal to be made in Greenland.
Okay, quickly.
All right, so my fault on that. That was the Greenland thing. It's real. From everybody that I talk with, they believe with Trump it's real. The Panama Canal, he just wants a different deal. It's kind of like the arena. Maybe Trump will, I'll get involved with the Sixers and these nitwits in Philadelphia in a moment. But on the issue of the pardons, here's what J.D. Vance said.
January 6th pardons, President Trump says there's a process. Where is the line drawn on who will and wouldn't be considered for a pardon?
I think it's very simple. Look, if you protested peacefully on January the 6th and you've had Merrick Garland's Department of Justice treat you like a gang member, you should be pardoned. If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned. And there's a little bit of a gray area there, but we're very much committed to seeing the equal administration of law. And there are a lot of people, we think, in the wake of January the 6th who were prosecuted unfairly. We need to rectify that.
All right. Now, that seems straightforward, but, you know, the devil's in the details. And over the weekend, maybe it's people on the left trying to sow division here. Is that good enough for you for what he said? It seems to pivot on the definition of violence a bit here. You know, like the people breaking into the windows and going inside. I think this is exactly the right way to do. And they can make the point. They're not going to forgive egregious cases here and saying, yeah, you plotted this. You were attacking police. We're going to do just like Biden. I don't think it's like that at all. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. Why J.D. Vance in that position getting heat over the weekend? It's exactly on point. It's exactly where the administration should be going. There's no doubt about it. And that's a position that's consistent with what they've said. Now, they also talked. Here's Barbarossa. This is a GOP senator, one of the leaders, and, you know, one of the establishment. But I think he's making a good point here. He's talking about what should we do? This is going to be a cost easily $200 billion. Who should pay for that in California? How should that go? And his argument is, well, we're going to pick up the pieces here, as the federal government does, but there will be strings attached. Now, some Republicans, foolhardy, starting trouble already, and Trump's with them on this. They say the string attached is, we'll give you the $200 billion, whatever it ends up being in California, but you are going to have to get rid of the debt ceiling. Well, I'm against both those things. I think we have to do our best we can with California, but the strings attached have to be something with their infrastructure there. Now, I don't know that we could say the mayor's got to go, the governor's got to go. They're not going to do that for the money. Well, what kind of string can you put on them if we're going to put up $250 billion? All right, here's what Barbarossa said.
I do want to ask you about these fires in California. Do you expect that Congress will have to provide an additional aid package? And if so, when?
Well, what we're seeing is heartbreaking. It's horrible, affecting people, you know, old and young, rich and poor. Everyone in the Wyoming National Guard is there on the scene, helping with manpower as well as equipment. When you see what's being shown on television, in addition to the tragedy on the ground, you're also seeing gross mismanagement in California by elected officials. And it's heartbreaking to hear the fire chief say that they've diverted all of this money away from the fire department to be used for social programs when they were already stretched too thin. So yes, I expect there's going to be hearings. There's going to be requests of Congress. There can't be a blank check on this, however, because people want to make sure that as rebuilding occurs, as things go on in California, they have to be resilient so that these sorts of things can't happen again. And the policies of the liberal administration out there, I believe, have made these fires worse.
Do you expect, though, that Congress and Republicans will still help these Americans in need, even if they don't like their local politics and the party?
I expect that there will be strings attached to money that is ultimately approved, and it has to do with being ready the next time, because this was a gross failure this time.
Yeah, how do you attach the strings to this? In the rebuilding, the things they're going to do, they're ideologues, they're progressives. They're not going to do them. So is that just foolhardy to say it? And again, this is a dire situation with this continuing. There is no doubt. So their argument is, well, when these people were hit with hurricanes in North Carolina, you were complaining. That's pretty different. There's nothing you're going to do about that. Their argument is, well, there is something. You people are in climate denial. Both of these things are about climate. So what kind of strings can you attach to this money? I mean, hopefully we're not going to be like the other side and say, yeah, California deserves it. Look at them, et cetera. And it's not about that. These are real people suffering. Now, on the other hand, something I see a lot of different things in this. Private firefighters have been hired to protect all kinds of Hollywood people, all kinds of bigwigs, and they're paid $2,000 an hour. Private fire, $2,000 an hour. Now,
off to California.
Yeah, it's one thing. I don't think they're LAPD firefighters. By the way, those guys are making, with overtime, about $200,000 a year. That seems to be a lot. There's a lot of problems with California, how they do things. The problem I have with these private firefighters is, where are they getting all this water from? You know, is that an issue versus those that can't pay someone $2,000 an hour? Now, some of them have fancy sprinkler systems, good on them, that just keep the roof sprayed, et cetera. And then they have the firefighters there. If there's the slightest sign of trouble coming, they take action. But there's still the issue of water. But if you can afford to do this, well, then you should be able to do it. And most regrettably, over the weekend, we had a sighting. Prince Harry, if he's still a prince, I'm not sure if he is a prince. Here's Prince Harry and Meghan Markle showing up. And I watched the clip of this. All I saw was hand someone like a napkin at the food dispersal. And they both, the woman keeps on saying they had ball hats on. Yeah, one had a Dodgers hat. Henry, I'm not sure what Markle had on.
They're wearing Dodger caps. That's it.
Yeah, well, I'd like to ask Markle, who plays first base for the Dodgers. What is first base? You know, where did the Dodgers finish last year? God, here's a little bit of the Markles. Let's not call them the Harrys, but the Markles.
You see, there we have a better shot of Princess Markle as Meghan, as she's wearing that LA ball cap and talking to some of the volunteers. You know, not a lot of big fanfare for their arrival, obviously. I'm sure they just wanted to come and offer support and well wishes as they are hanging out with the commoners, I guess. That's one way to put it, huh, Marla?
Yeah.
And
Oh, my God, these sycophants in Hollywood. Get them out of here. Oh, Meghan Markle's over there giving me a potato chip.
Hanging out with the commoners.
Hanging out with the commoners. That's the Hollywood, Access
Get
Hollywood
the name
test.
right.
There you go. All right, so jump on board. The January 6th party
Get him out.
thing
Get him out of here.
is set. Are you okay with that? And in addition to that, Vance made that pretty clear. What are the strings that you would attach? This is a lot of money. And look, not all these are millionaires, Hollywood people. Probably there's like 5,000 of them out of the just unbelievable numbers of people affected. Coming up, I'll play you, though, this actress. I saw her in, not Parks, Community. Show that I sort of like. Luke used to like it. And another actress, I don't know the stuff that she was in, two black women defending Karen Bass. And this is all about race. First, though, let's give me the side question. Today's a great day. Today is the anniversary of Horatio Alger. All right, all this guy did was write the classic Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches. So I'm looking for an all-time, real or fictional, Rags to Riches, only in America. Somebody who grew up poor but hit it unbelievably big. The first one that came to my mind, because it was so public, is Oprah. And Oprah on her own is the richest woman in America. Now, these others, inherited money and yada, 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 the Waltons and the Walmarts and all that stuff. There may be richer people in that regard. But as far as somebody who made her own money, despite regrettable consequences of some of it, Oprah is it. Now, that should speak well to America. Does that happen in a lot of other countries? I don't see how. So I'm going to take Oprah off the board. We were going to do something with billions. A little bit later, we'll tell you because Doge is promising to try to save at least $1 trillion. They're shooting for $2 trillion. I couldn't figure that out, but I could figure out how much a billion is. We have a few examples of that. And when you hear it, you go, that's only $1 billion. What the heck is $1 trillion? Henry, one pop into your mind, Rags to Riches.
Yeah, I mean, the first one that came into my mind immediately was none other than the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James, being born to a single-teen mother in Akron, Ohio, and then being able to catapult his local Catholic school into the national spotlight, obviously highlighted by his play, and to not only be anointed as like the chosen one, the next great one, but to live up to that expectation, I think is nothing short of miraculous. So LeBron is my answer today.
All right. Dan, do you have
After all that, I thought he was going with Kobe,
Yeah.
So I guess it's not really a Rags to
Well,
Riches story with
first
the
of
way
all,
that guy grew
he's
up,
not
right?
even close to the
Beam was a
greatest
pro.
basketball player ever, but I'll leave that aside
gosh.
for a future time. Yes.
How about a guy born in Harlem, 1929, opens up a bunch of dry cleaning stores throughout New York City, but in a fictional way, that being George Jefferson, moving on up. Starts with as a side character on a TV show and moves on up to his own TV show itself, The Jeffersons, Dom.
Moving on up. That's the theme of the song. And he, at the old station, was out there several times. I met him once.
Oh, yeah?
A very personable guy. I didn't think he's going to start
Sherman
screaming.
Helms?
Yeah. Him and Archie, that was an all-time Carol O'Connor.
And how about
brilliant stuff.
Growing up in the hills of Tennessee, one of 12 kids in a one-room cabin, that Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton is a great one. Excellent. I don't know if she's a billionaire, but she's 100 millions. All right, 855-839-1210. So hit us real or fictional with somebody that is a rags to riches. And I don't remember reading Horatio Alger. Speaking of which, seeing A.J. Brown reading Inner Excellence yesterday on the bench to find peace, it's an all-timer. It's something that you cannot imagine somebody coming up with. I don't know it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, he knows what he's going to do, and I don't think between plays he's analyzing his stride or something.
If you tune in, youtube.com/@12WPHT, what do we see Dom read during the breaks?
I'm going to get
The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
I'm going to get Inner Excellence. No, I'm reading a book on the mob and the Kennedys, and the Kennedys right now are even worse than even I would make them. Except for one thing. Bobby Kennedy, the book attacks him. Deported this mobster who was here illegally in New Orleans, the mob head, for 10 years. Dropped him off in an airplane in Honduras, just right there at the side of the road. Now that's a good deportation policy. Yeah.
Does it delve into Rosemary at all, the book?
No, I haven't seen anything on that yet with the Kennedys. No, it's not all about it's about the whole sweep of it with the mob in America, and the Kennedys is a large part of it. Yeah.
Huh.
I'd recommend
Sounds
it. But
fascinating,
I have to get Inner Excellence, though. I never would have guessed it. I guess I'm stereotyping. Didn't strike me, but A.J. Brown says he reads 2 books a month.
That's
pretty
Private
good.
Parts by Howard Stern that Dom's reading there during them?
Yeah, what is it that we have here? Each day we'll have another Book of the Month Club. I'll hold something up. I'll bring it from home.
Are you still doing that at home with Ro?
Yeah, sure.
What's the book club rating right now?
What's the next one?
Henry, this is what happens every time I ask you about the book club.
Yeah, we're on a hiatus, and I think there's a battle going back and forth between what the choice should be. That's
How about that Kennedy book?
No, they don't like it's a lot of people.
Do you ever
don't
get
like,
to choose? I mean, they should get some like political thrillers in there.
I know they like fiction. Roe and other women in there. It's just it's an upper hill battle. They dominate it. DJ just goes along, pretends he reads it, then talks for an hour.
So you DJ and a bunch of women reading Tom Clancy's next
and
novel.
Luke, yes. Oh my. Oh yeah. Now we did read an O'Reilly killing book once, and they didn't particularly like Killing Reagan. Yeah, Killing Reagan. All right, 855.
Very interesting.
839-1210. That will get you in. Hit us with that. And also, why are people upset with this January 6th thing? Are you one of them? J.D. Vance said it exactly right. We're not going to pardon everybody. No, that's not the point. We are going to pardon and or commute those that have been punished excessively or essentially did stuff that was a misdemeanor or pretty much did nothing at all. They're going to be freed on day one. That's exactly right. That's the difference. We're not giving pardons out like Biden. By the way, the Biden people saying this week they're going to announce a bunch of preemptive pardons. People who allegedly did nothing wrong, but Biden is pardoning them in advance. 855-839-1210. We'll get you on board.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-250-7807. 800-250-7807. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-250-7807.
Hi, I'm Mike Venaria Jr. with Prosperity Private Wealth. Financial planning can be overwhelming regardless of market conditions. I specialize in retirement and legacy planning and tax minimization strategies. Protect your family and future generations without sacrificing our shared principles of hard work and American independence. Take control of your financial future. Call me, Mike Venaria Jr. at 856-252-0107.
Securities through Sanctuary Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, advisory services through Sanctuary Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Maria here to tell you about the exciting things going on at Lexus of Cherry Hill. The L-certified winter collection sales event is going on now. New year, new ride. Receive special finance rates on L-certified Lexus models now through March 3rd. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Lexus of Cherry Hill is family and veteran owned and operated, and a 7-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence recipient for the customer sales experience. Visit LexusofCherryHill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Nothing that we did is going to be in vain. This is a good day for Philadelphia. Big gulp, yes. Big gulp, absolutely. Curveball, but let me tell you something. The news could have been different on today, and I don't have the luxury as the mayor to allow my pride, my ego, or my emotions to drive my decision making. I am driven by that revenue. And I made a commitment, a personal commitment. Safe, clean, green, economic opportunity for all. Right now, what are we going to be doing? We got a budget, Mr. President, that we have to work on right now. We also are going to work on housing. If people want to know what's on the agenda right now, 30,000 units of housing in the city of Philadelphia, the building of new, the preservation of existence, public, affordable, workforce, market rate, single-family dwelling, mixed use, veterans, seniors, you name it. We're working on putting together the plan in order to make it happen. But I'm grateful. And I needed to say this, and I needed to be transparent because I've been, what do you call it when they don't allow you to watch the news? Is it encumbered? I haven't been able to watch the news or sequestered. Is that it, Mr. President? They've had me sequestered in the bunker over the last 72 hours, so I couldn't look at social media. I haven't been able to read the papers.
All right,
Philadelphia,
I'm getting a little tired.
our
Much I like
decision
Sherelle Parker
making was
did.
not
Thank
in
you.
vain.
Yeah, not in vain. This is the spin. Now, Bob Brady, who was one of the forces with this, so they went after him on it. So what's wrong with this, Dom? That's what Roe was asking me until DJ came over yesterday and started to go through exactly what I would say. Councilman Harity, for example, from Kensington, said, I feel like we were used. We were pawns. Of course you were. Wasn't the whole idea, oh, my God, how bad it is over on A Street in Center City. No, the whole idea is this. You have, again, owners, and as far as spending money for the Sixers, Josh Harris does, but you have these owners who realize that sports are like crack cocaine, even the Sixers. In big cities, the argument is you have to have them, you have to pay them. Now, the Phillies are essentially tremendous hometown and all that, okay? But in this instance, we had a situation where they knew all along they might be able to drive Comcast toward this. I'm going to ask Bob Brady straight up, so I haven't seen it in print. Is any taxpayer money going to be involved with this? And again, why would you need to rip down one and build another? It's all about increasing the value of the Sixers. It is good. It's not going to be downtown. It is good, the Chinatown thing, etc. But this was a move that called the bluff, I guess, of Comcast to get them to do this. And why go through this charade? 2 years of it, I told you exactly what was going to happen. They would get their way. Why? Because you have this alliance of the building trades, many of whom are these white guy union types, and you have the black clergy of Philadelphia. You put those two things together, and they're going to do what they want. And essentially, they told Chinatown, you're only Asian. You're not a real minority. We don't care about all that history in Chinatown and all the back and forth. Doesn't matter. We're going to do it. Evidence of this. If this were so important to do all this stuff, they would have done it down there. They're the ones that said it. I'm the one that told you it's nonsense about revitalizing Center City. Why is it going to be where it started? Well, because that's the best place to have sports in Philadelphia. It's the most convenient, least disruptive, etc.
Yes. Council President at Large, or Councilman, I think, Isaiah Thomas. I think this is who this is. Let me make sure.
Oh, don't tell me.
No. Who is this? I got to find out who it is first before I.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
He might agree with. I never agree with that.
No, it's
working families.
Is it Kenyatta maybe? No. Okay. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. That he's still beat all the charges. That guy. That's the city council president so far. Yes. God. So do they feel you? No, the mayor is a joke on this. Come on. You were used in this. That's why you just said the 72 hours and all the rest of it. Is it a good thing they're there and not in Chinatown? Yes. But using all this public attention, all this subterfuge, again, the bottom line is that they know people want sports, big-time sports. So the argument now is the wonders that this is going to create. what it creates is more value for Josh Harris and his partners. That's the bottom line in the end. And it's not capital. There's a difference between capitalism and crony capitalism, corporate capitalism. This stuff with sports teams has always been corporate capitalism. They have the wedge. I think the Eagles could ask for just about anything. And can you imagine, way back when, Leonard Toews, it was very close. It was the Wilson Good administration. And the Eagles were actually more than threatening. They were going to go to Phoenix. And at the 11th hour, they gave them what they wanted. Now, that's back when the Eagles were, people love the Eagles and all that stuff. But it's not like it is now. Now, I can't imagine the passion, other than soccer teams, maybe in a particular city. It's unrivaled. You can see it all over the place. Even if they're not wildly successful like last year, it doesn't matter. And this year, it's even more apparent. All right, so we'll talk to Bob Brady about that at 1 o'clock today. But now we don't have to go through, are they going to make SEPTA safe and the whole song and dance. Just think of the charade. All the while in their back pocket, they had Comcast. And it's rare where Comcast kind of is the one that folds. Not the Sixers, though. All right, let's go to Tom in Jersey. Tom, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tom, good afternoon.
How you doing today, Dom?
Good, Tom.
My side question answer is Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor.
Why that? Yeah.
Well, he's poor. He won that $30 million, and then that was just to get the $300 million. To me, I think that's rags to riches.
Oh, yeah, definitely rags to riches. Okay. Thank you, Tom. Worthy to start with. Real or fictional? We'll take either one. By the way, I just saw it announced, the program. I can't see all of it here. It's on Twitter. It's a little bit blank. But Carrie Underwood is performing at the Trump inauguration. Now, I'm not sure if she's the featured act or not. I would give that a B. Many Republican presidents couldn't get Carrie Underwood or someone like that. Would George W. Bush get Carrie Underwood? I don't see it. Is that the heavy? If that's the heaviest hitter for the inauguration, then I might give it a B. I'll let you know if I see others. Let's see who Trump is able to attract to perform at the second inaugural, because if you do, there's problems. All right, coming up, the great Colonel Alan B. West is with us, because tomorrow we have the kickoff of the confirmation hearings. The biggest one, without a doubt, will it be the most contentious, is Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. All right, there's a lot of things here. Alan West, political analysis and the military analysis, second to none. And hit us today, Horatio Alger, the all-time rags to riches. I don't know what his most famous was, but that's essentially what he did. A lot of Americans don't believe in that anymore. They think that's just made up. Well, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have experienced it. All straight ahead. Talk Radio 1210.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
When you look at your kids or grandkids, you can't help but wonder. You wonder what their world will be like in 20 years. Then you think about yourself. What will your life be like when you step away from work and into retirement? There are a lot of things you can't control, but with the right planning, there are some things you can. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, our Portfolio X-Ray is designed to show you how you're doing so far and what your monthly income will look like in the future. In other words, they can take you from wondering to knowing. So take control of your financial future. Call today for a complimentary evaluation. 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune into The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of the many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. So finally, after all these weeks, tomorrow the real action starts. We have several confirmation hearings and more throughout the week. But the main event, Pete Hegseth, who, based on insiders, appears to have a clearer path than in the beginning to being Secretary of Defense. Joining us is Colonel Allen B. West. Colonel, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
It's good to be with you, Dom, and I'm sure you guys still celebrating your playoff victory yesterday, and the Eagles look pretty good.
Well, they looked, the Packers just looked.
They stunk it up.
It's unraveling, too, though. Undisciplined, kind of. You know what I mean? Just not what I was expecting. Or are the Eagles that good? We'll see. So, Colonel, let's put on the political hat for a moment. Are you in the camp, people you talk with? I hear all this people tell me they believe that Hegseth, not a sure thing, but he's turned the corner in which to be a marginal confirmation before that it's better than 50-50. He'll be confirmed.
Well, I don't know if he's turned the corner, but I think that the GOP senators don't want to undermine him, and he's getting his day in the hearing tomorrow. But look at the objective of the Democrats. They're going to try to embarrass him, harass him, and make him so toxic that Republican senators will not want to associate themselves by way of a vote to confirm him. And so I think that's going to be the big concern tomorrow, is how damaging will things be for Pete when you look at the opposition, like Tammy Duckworth and Richard Blumenthal. And Richard Blumenthal should recuse himself. I mean, here's the guy that lied about serving in Vietnam. That's the last person that should be talking to anyone about, integrity or character, what have you. But we know that that's not something that the Democrats possess anyhow. So I think that the objective tomorrow is to, try to embarrass Pete, to make it a bad situation, put Republicans in a bad position in supporting him going forward for confirmation.
So, Colonel, I saw this and I thought of you immediately, too. A study out because of Hegseth coming up saying half of Army senior officers turned down a command position just to continue in the staff level. So there's no pressure on them. My goodness.
Yeah, I read that, and it's very telling, because what is happening in our military is that they see these policies that are coming down. They don't think that they can be successful commanders when they're told that their focus has to be on DEI, CRT, transgenderism, better pronoun usage, and all of these things. They're not having the ability to go out and train. I give you a great case in point because I'm still kind of connected. The Apache helicopters that are out there in Alaska with the airborne division there, they have not had blades for about 30 to 45 days. So in other words, our entire Apache helicopter fleet, attack helicopter fleet of the United States Army in Alaska has been grounded because they haven't had a blade replacement. So why would you want to be in command of a unit when these are the type of things that you're facing? It's not something that you can control yourself, but this is based upon the policies and the mismanagement and the logistical non-support that you see coming from above, just the same as you can't go out and train your artillery units when you're depleting your artillery stocks. So, yes, there are a lot of people that are saying, I want to stay in the military, but I'm not going to put myself at risk in a command position.
It seems to me in a situation like that, not just particularly in the military, but in, say, if it was in sports or whatever, you need somebody that says, we don't need to study here. You're going to get those blades there, not after breakfast, Shawshank Redemption, not after lunch, but now. Somebody's got to do it. I mean,
well, that's the thing. There is no emphasis. There's no sense of emergency. There is no sense of military readiness and preparedness. And again, this has been something that has been cancerous for the past 4 years of this Biden administration. And it's going to be interesting. He's supposed to give a speech about foreign policy today. What the heck is he going to talk about? You have a failed military. You have a failed foreign policy, failed national security policy, a wide open border. But this is why people are just sitting back saying, I will wait and see what the new commander-in-chief and his initiatives will be. But right now, no, nobody wants to be in a command position.
Women in combat. Hegseth, look, you know talk radio. I think you filled in. You've done a lot, as much media as anybody, your own stuff. And there's, you're provocative, maybe a bit edgy on something. He said some things about it. I don't see the wisdom of this, but what are your thoughts, someone who's actually done it, of women in combat?
It is very simple. First of all, it's not women in combat. Anybody that's deployed to a combat zone is in combat. What we're talking about is women in combat duty positions and billets. And the thing that I just very simply ask folks, right now, do men and women compete in figure skating? Do men and women compete in gymnastics? Do men and women compete in hockey? And so if we are recognizing these separations between men and women in, downhill skiing or slalom skiing or things of this nature, ski jumping, then how can we sit back and say that men and women are equal when it comes to being mano a mano on a battlefield? The only thing that rules on a battlefield, if you have to go hand in hand, is who is going to overpower the other person. And I don't think that, I'm 63. I got up this morning. It was 26 degrees. I still knocked out 3.5 miles. There are not a lot of 63-year-old females that may want to do that. And furthermore, there are not probably a lot of 30 to 40-year-old females that you would put into a ring against me for a boxing match. So I think that we have to be very honest about these discussions that we're having, because national security is not about equity. It's not about inclusion.
They're going to argue, though, Colonel, you know this, that and that's where Pete has a lot of experience. I'm sure he'll be able to answer that it's not like that now. They want to tell you it's just a push-button war. We're going to be playing video games.
Oh, really? Okay, so tell that to the special operators that are out there hunting down jihadists. Tell that to the guys that went into the tunnel after al-Baghdadi. Tell that to the Navy SEALs that went across border after Osama bin Laden. No, we have this mindset that it's all about drones and technology. Look, war is about fighting, and fighting is about killing. And it is still about you being able to go hand to hand. And if it comes to it, you have to put a bayonet in somebody else. That's what war is about, inflicting your power and your desire to survive against someone else. And so this is not about equity. It's not about inclusion. It's not about technology. It's about your fighter being able to win on the battlefield. It's still about being a warrior.
Colonel Pete Hegseth, too. I saw a lot over the weekend building up for this unending wars, the Trump doctrine. He fits that. Democrats seem like they come close to defending. Well, they do. They don't seem to get it. People die in these, and we forget about them a little while later. Most of these conflicts, that's what happens. We don't fight them to any kind of goal. Plus, they go on for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, you have to go in there and say that we're fighting to win. One of the things that I saw in my 2.5 years in Afghanistan is that we got focused on, nation building and democratic institutions and all of these things, instead of being focused on one single thing, crushing the enemy and making sure that they do not have the ability to be restored or resurrected and be an effective combat force on the battlefield. And so I think that we have to move away from occupation warfare. I think we need to move more so toward enemy-oriented operations, strike operations, go in and hit them quickly and then withdraw, not sit around and worry about building roads and things of that nature. That's up to somebody else. The military, like Colin Powell once said, is about going in, breaking stuff, and killing people, and that's what we have to get back to.
Colonel, is there any other confirmation you pay particular attention to? Gabbert, the intelligence level. I'm not sure if that's. I saw. Okay, good. I wanted to ask you this 702 policy has been tightened up to protect our personal liberties. I'm in that camp that thinks it has. She now, at kind of the 11th hour, has said, okay, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I saw her change her tune on that. You know, I was never a really big fan of the Patriot Act because when Mueller was up there and I was in Congress, I asked him to come over and give me a briefing about that, with the FBI and how it had been positively used. And so we got to be careful to make sure that things that seem that they're going to work for the good of the American people and our security are not in the wrong hands, because we saw what could happen with those FISA courts and systems. So I think it's very important that she articulates those safeguards that preserve the civil liberties of American people, but focus on the enemy. Because guess what? Look what happened on New Year's Day in New Orleans. So how can we still have these types of catastrophic failures with a guy that made videos and posted videos? Why was there a be on the lookout, a bolo alert that was put out there? We got to start surveilling and look at some of these mosques. This mosque that this guy attended said, we're not going to talk to anybody at the FBI, refer them to CARE. We know the background of CARE. So we still have some intelligence problems here. I don't want to see any more of these pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist organization rallies. So let's start focusing on bad people and making sure that that's why we do have these type of statutes in place. Because the guy in New Orleans, guess what? He traveled over to Cairo, Egypt. Who did he meet with? Who did he go with? We should have known that a long time ago.
Colonel, partying area, California, Republicans saying, all right, we're going to chip in a lot of federal money, but strings will be attached. What kind of strings would you try to attach? It's both the rebuilding, I worry about the corruption, but also the policies. They're going to continue the same policies. How can we make people whole and yet get a change?
Well, that's the thing. You can't throw good money after bad policies. So I'd say that Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, we're not going to be invested in California. You all still in leadership positions. We're going to look at the people that are in charge of the L.A. Fire Department. We're not about DEI hires. We want to see some measurable differences before one penny of taxpayer dollars goes into California. And I think that's something that the entire population of the United States of America will agree with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where do we find all things Colonel Allen B. West?
Well, you can find me at the American Constitutional Rights Union, theacru.org. I'm on Substack. I have my podcast, Steadfast and Loyal, and on all the social media, but not with that Communist Chinese Party TikTok crap. And if you want to talk about the intelligence communities, why do we have the Communist Chinese Party all over the United States of America? Talk about foreign intelligence surveillance.
Thank you, Colonel. As always, a whole lot today. Thanks, Colonel West.
God bless. Take care, Don.
God bless. Colonel West, always. I got up out of bed 3.5 miles. Oh, my God. Unbelievable guy. All right. You heard what he said about Tulsi Gabbard, Patriot Act, how that will come up. But what he said about Pete Hegseth. They're going to get into the tattoo. Elizabeth Warren particularly doesn't like the tattoo, says it's white supremacy. There's no evidence of that. It's going to be I didn't know that the senator from Connecticut, Dang Dang Dick Blumenthal, would be one of the inquisitors. Oh, my God. Tough to take. All right, here's how you get in, though. Hit us on a side question, too, at 855-839-1210. Somebody who went rags to riches, Horatio Alger Day. And, again, the 1 o'clock, Bob Brady will be here. I know he's on board. I think he's one of the architects of this deal. I'll ask him straight up. Did taxpayers, you mean to say there's no taxpayer money involved with this whole Comcast / Sixers Flyers along for the ride deal? I mean, it's
this
hard to believe.
This press conference, man, is fascinating. It really,
yeah, well,
it's like a skit. Well, at one point, what I was going to play earlier, we're not going to play it, though. It's not really worth it. Council President Kenyatta Johnson came on and tried to give his own spin and saying that, this is doubly good for the city. Now we got 2 investment projects going on, one in South Philly, one in East Market. So, it's a win-win for everybody, and really trying to spin it in their favor. Oh, man, this is a very good example, I guess, of politicking by Sherelle when asked by a reporter, you want to do this now or you want to do this after the break?
Yeah, sure.
So asked by a reporter, how can she trust that, they already kind of reneged on a deal against her, right, once. So how can they trust that this deal is going to stand and they're not going to do it all over again to try to, screw the city again? Listen to her Newt Gingrich, I guess-esque response, Dom. Take a listen.
Liz, thank you. Yes. Tell me your name again. Liz, thank you so very much for that question. It's a very important one. Liz, when I ran for office and I asked people of the city of Philadelphia to give me a chance to be their CEO, the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, first woman, 100th mayor in 341 years. I told them something on the trail. I traveled across this city to neighborhoods, no matter the race, class, socioeconomic status. I wasn't a chameleon. My message stayed the same. I'm prepared to meet this moment. I'm going to be ready on day one. When I think about the kind of black swan events that other mayors across this nation are dealing with right now, Mayor Karen Bass in Los Angeles, I'm thinking about LaToya Cantrell and what she just experienced in New Orleans. I'm thinking about Michael Nutter and what President Barack Obama called the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. I'm thinking about Mayor Kenney and a global COVID-19 pandemic that no one, I don't care how brilliant you were, you would not have been able to control for. I'm prepared to meet this moment. Now, did I know? Was I at the meeting before the meeting to say that this negotiation was going to take place? Absolutely not. But guess what?
Possible?
I'm
You're
still
the
CEO of this city.
Why were you not there?
My job is to develop East Market Street, to see a new arena, to build that battery, to grow the next generation of skilled workers, to make sure SEIU and Unite Here is put to work. And I'm going to hold 10 more. I'm going to hold 10 more town hall meetings when they finally get the plan, while the council president and his team are working on the hearings. Y'all will be going through the legislative process, and they're going to say, oh, Lord, here comes this long-winded lie.
God. She wasn't even in the meetings. What an admission of how ridiculous this was. And you're right, to stand up there and go through a whole thing about being the CEO. Yeah, they were negotiating all this. I didn't know about it. Who really runs Philadelphia? You always knew it was the unions. Why is this the last big union town? Bob Brady coming up at 1. I think he was a large part of making this happen. Was he running the city? All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in right now. Hey, looking to achieve your health goals and start the new year right. Well, now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy, and more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating you. Save 35% on single bottles of Rescue supplements with the code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Whatever your health goals, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use the code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements with the code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best yet with Rescue.
Buy low, sell high. It's a cardinal rule of investing. With the market near record highs, you need a proven system that protects what you have earned without sacrificing opportunity for growth.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. With the stock market at record highs, I would recommend taking your money and put it into a crash-proof retirement system. This year, I have earned over 14%, and it can't be taken away.
Gail Schlosser, and I started with Crash Proof Retirement in 2016. I'm getting great returns, up to 12 to 15%, and it's not going to dwindle away in the stock market.
Regina Kukulski, Langhorne. This year, I earned 10.5% interest. I feel really good looking at that because it's not money I lost.
Dolores Queen, Hatboro, Pennsylvania. We have outperformed the market this year, and when we earn 14%, it's ours to keep.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Right now, get 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could get 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 years. Sale ends January 31st, so schedule your consult now at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com. Tell them you heard it on WPHT.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com.
Damon John here, the People Shark. I want to share a secret that's changing people's lives. There is a company called National Debt Relief that can help you get out of debt faster than you ever thought possible, like 12 to 48 months from now. With National Debt Relief, you can cut your minimum credit card payments by 50% and pay as little as $250 a month. Imagine, instead of paying multiple high interest payments every month, you can make one low monthly program payment, plus you can get approved in just a few minutes. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people just like you. Trust me when I tell you, National Debt Relief's got your back and can help you get back on track.
To learn how you can reduce your credit card debt and become debt-free, call 800-234-7799. 800-234-7799. Again, that's 800-234-7799.
Don't wait, apply today.
Dom Giordano, weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. We got a little more from this news conference at a certain point here. So, again, I'm glad for Chinatown. But what are the lessons of this? If you're Asian, you're white adjacent. You don't count. We're going to run over top of you. We don't care. Let's come up with a phony, we're going to revitalize downtown Philadelphia. And all along, let's negotiate with a group of people behind city council and the mayor. Well, what else would you do if you're the mayor other than to spin this, though, into something it's not?
I do have the council president if you want to hear.
Okay, here's the council president, Kenyatta Johnson, on Spin Cycle.
Today is still a win for the city of Philadelphia. When I woke up this morning, Sherelle, I was... I'm a spiritual person. I'm talking to my Lord, and, the scripture came up and said, all things, not some things, all things work together for those who love the Lord. And why I say this is a win-win, from day one, the goal was to making sure we keep the Sixers in the city of Philadelphia. That's right. Now, some folks say they was pump faking, right? I know a little bit about business, though. Somebody put $800 million in front of you, you have to take that seriously, right? And then I start thinking when I'm in the neighborhood, and I don't know who y'all was listening to, but when I'm in South Philly and Point Breeze, they said, don't lose no Sixers.
That's right.
We may not reelect you. And so for me, it sounds better to have the Philadelphia 76ers than the New Jersey 76ers. And so...
Stupid idiots. So they're really going to go over to Camden, the Sixers. As much as I love basketball, let them go. Take the whole nonsense with them. Give me a break. When are we going to get out of this idea that you have to have this sport? The Sixers of all teams. What are the Flyers going to do that? What should the Eagles do that? The Eagles ought to say, here are our demands. We want you to drop $1 billion right there at the feet of Jeffrey Lurie by noon today. If the Sixers left Philadelphia or threatened them, now that's a real problem. I don't know what the, what lines of communication they have there, but I bet there's an out clause.
Yeah.
And they can go and play in Camden. Well,
They threatened to do that. They
Yeah.
threatened to play in Camden and in Wilmington, and the city bought it hook, line, and sinker. They didn't call their bluff at all.
Right, exactly.
There's a moment where it's almost like a, yeah, we got you by Josh Harris, because here you'll hear the council president say one more thing, and I'll let you know what happens. Take a listen.
And so I do say hats off to Comcast and Brian Roberts and David Blitzer, Josh Harris and David Edelman for coming together. Yes. Now, some people may or may not notice, these two corporate giants been fighting back and forth.
Yes.
Throughout this process. I would talk to Dan, and when Dan would come to my office with my good friend Rob Murray, I better give them an offer they can't refuse. And so we would talk and go back and forth throughout this legislative process. But I recognize, because we have a partnership to still focus on revitalizing Market Street East, this is a process of addition and not subtraction. Now we have 2 economic development projects taking place instead of 1, right? And so I'm also getting up this morning, John, and I'm talking to my Lord, and then he also said Ephesians 7:8, right? And it talks about sometime the end is better than the beginning. Wow. Well, what does that mean?
Well, Parker,
we started off with a proposal to go downtown, right? But this is a win-win, because Plan B is better than Plan A.
That's right.
Now we're going to double the revenue, right? We still focus on making sure Black and brown and women-owned businesses have a seat at the table in the stadium that will be built in South Philadelphia, as well as the projects that will take place along East Market Street. That mission still has remained the same. Making sure young Black men have an opportunity, Mr. Boyd, to participate in the building trades. That's still the same mission. Making sure Black and brown and women-owned businesses also have an opportunity to participate in the professional services contracts that will take place in that new arena in South Philadelphia. So today is a win for the city of Philadelphia. We'll have that opportunity, and people are going to say, well, let's play Monday morning quarterback, Mr. Mayor. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All I asked, though, I had only asked this one thing, right? Just one small statement. I wish y'all could have got the deal done before we actually started the process. And here's why. We don't regret.
And then Josh Harris comes over and pats him on the shoulder in a very odd way.
Oh, yes.
My members and I do not
You know
regret.
what, buddy? You know what? Stop bringing God into it, you disgrace. Stop bringing God into it, all right? Do your nonsense. Stop with the scriptures. You beat the federal charges and all the rest of it. Stop talking about God. Mike, just stop it. Just stop it. Sacrilegious. All right, coming up, Bob Brady here on Talk Radio 1210.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, big issues, big guest. I think he was down the street. He was in Mulligan's. Everything good happens in Mulligan's. Bob Brady comes into the place.
A hush comes over.
Yeah, I think it was the last Mulligan's. He had he had great resort attire on.
Do you know who that is?
And, did a big interview. That's right around the time that
whispers,
Bob Kelly said drinks for everyone at the bar, and there was mayhem. I don't know if that'll happen again. So Bob Kelly attends every time this year. I bet 1 out of 3 that happens. But anyhow. Bob said he wasn't supportive of what was going on at that point, where this was going to lead. And he talked about the Comcast people and these designs to make it kind of a show place down there. But no one knew after this bill was signed that this might happen. And we played you the news conference with Sherelle Parker and the Presidente of City Council. Let's go to Bob Brady on Talk Radio 1210. Bob, Happy New Year. We haven't spoken. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you and your family. Good, healthy one.
Well, Bob, you seemingly were involved in this, right, behind the scenes, because that's what I got down at the shore.
A little bit. Well, I'm friendly with Comcast, naturally, and I'm friendly with David Edelman. So, I talked to both of them, and, it was a tough negotiation, but let me tell you, we are better now today in the position that we have than we were yesterday. We'll now have a stadium district where everybody can get to very easily. You have to worry about the traffic and all the parking. It'll be adequate for parking. It'll be adequate for getting back and forth to with public transportation, even from Jersey and the suburbs and inside the city of Philadelphia. We have our major teams there looking for a women's NBA basketball team to come in, and then they're also committed to doing the fashion district Market East. So we're better today than we were. It's just we had to go through that process. It was an exhausting process, and people had to get up and vote. And I guess a couple of them got a little disturbed that they voted for something that didn't come to fruition. But hey, that's politics. But again, we're better today than we were. And then Chinatown's happy. This is like a win-win thing for everybody. Chinatown residents are happy,
Well, Bob,
are happy.
Okay, I got you, but a couple of flies in the ointment. Is there any taxpayer money at all, to your knowledge, involved?
I'm told no. I'm told there's no taxpayer money involved. Naturally, there's no taxpayer money involved in the stadium. They're doing it themselves, the stadium district. And I'm also heard, and I believe that won't be any taxpayers' money between Comcast and the Sixers of revitalizing Market East. That's their commitment.
Okay, so making fools, though. Some of you say, I guess you see it. If you were in that position, though, Bob, the mayor, we played these, wasn't even involved in the negotiations on this. That's kind of strange, isn't it?
I don't know how that. I kind of know a little bit how that happened. Maybe some figuring, it wasn't done properly about. I understand the demolishing of it. They couldn't implode the building because there's an underground there, and I guess maybe the people they kept talking to each other. They came to a better agreement. It's a 50-50 process. The difference. The main thing with the Sixers is they couldn't control their own schedule. They had to get seconds after the Flyers because Flyers owned it and Flyers have priority on their schedule. So they fixed that. That are 50-50. So I guess they must have thought about it and figured it might be cheaper and easier, and they reevaluated everything and it came to a conclusion to stay back in the complex, have a nice stadium complex, which was which is a good idea in my mind anyway. Then there was no problems with the parking now. There's no problem with the access, with the transportation. And then again, Chinatown's intact, and they still have the commitment that they're going to, with no city funding, that they're going to do a Market Street East, the Fashion District. They're going to revitalize that area there. So we got a new stadium, we got a new facility with the complex stadium district, and we have Market Street East, the Fashion District, being revitalized. And I mean, it's a win-win thing. And then you also have the residents in Chinatown that are jumping up and down. I think I can hear the fireworks coming up from where I'm sitting now.
So, Bob, take me inside this now. You know me a little bit, right? I am a big sports guy, very competitive, particularly basketball. But don't we bend over? You've been in these negotiations. I mean, why sports? There's just such a feel that people would knock Democrats out of office if they didn't keep him here. Isn't that the bottom line?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think that sports fans are Republicans too. I think that it's an outlet. Sports are something that everybody enjoys and loves, especially at this time right now with the Eagles. God bless them, go Birds. That the Eagles are doing well, and we had a great season with the Phillies. Looking forward to another great season, and people are just familiar themselves with it, and it's just something that sustains the city of Philadelphia. I mean, look what happens if we have a Super Bowl again. I mean, if the Phillies go to the World Series again. I mean, come on, it just revitalizes and puts everybody in a happy state. I mean, today we're really happy. All right, the Eagles didn't do as well as we thought they would do as far as the game they played, but they won.
Right.
And now we're going to see, and people are fired up over that, and everybody can relate to it. And we certainly don't want the Sixers to go to New Jersey. I mean, we really don't want that.
Yeah, but Bob, now come on. You're a master negotiator. You don't see that as a bluff. They're really going to put stake down in Camden. I taught in Camden before I got into this. There's no way I could see the Sixers in Camden. How realistic was that?
I don't think it was realistic, but it was a tool that they used, and it could possibly happen. I mean, they moved I was surprised and pretty upset about the fact they moved their training facility over to Jersey.
Right.
That bothered me a little bit. And I was part and parcel big time with the Flyers. Remember years ago, the Flyers were threatening to move to Jersey too, and actually, to be honest with you, what I said to them at the time when I was in Congress, go ahead, goodbye, see you later. And they blinked. There's no revenue there. I mean, you can't imagine people going over to Camden to watch the Sixers. I mean, it ain't going to happen,
Exactly
but that was
right.
one of the things they talked about. They talked about doing that, and people get nervous about that. You never know. Sometimes these sports people, the bottom line was we had the governor over there in Jersey giving them out a piece of land for nothing. I mean, they were really opening up their arms and letting them do whatever they needed to do and give whatever they wanted to have over in Camden. And that's the last thing we wanted to have happen, Although I don't think it was real, but it's still on the table. It's still threatening.
One more area, too, okay? We see the Democrat Party in the wake of the election now, right? And we had you on. You were good enough to come on after Philadelphia and all that. And you were right about more of the Harris campaign than your efforts. But overall, we see someone like Fetterman now, who is a contrarian, and he's saying a lot of interesting things, at least to me. Yet we still see elements who just don't want to work with Trump in any way, shape, or form. What are you hearing in Democrat circles now as far as strategy to reach out to people and to come back a bit?
Well, he's the president of the United States, and we live in the United States. He's our president. And look, he has some ideas that a lot of us don't get along with, but that doesn't mean we can't try to work with him. We can't try to work together. As you know, I mean, I work with Republicans. I mean, Republican speakers, the last three speakers are my dear friends, and the last Republican speakers. I mean, and we get along, and we get along with our Republicans in Congress. I did then too. Michael, me, and God bless him, he's not doing too well. My prayers go out to him. We meet every election day, Republican chairman at the time. And we try to get along, and I think that we should try to get along. Fetterman dances to his own little beat, and I mean, I really liked him when he really stood up for Biden, and then he went off again on something else, beating up our governor to become a vice president candidate. So I don't really understand some of his politics, what they are. But look, He's a senator, United States senator. He's now, I think, as we speak, is in Mar-a-Lago, which is okay. He should be probably doing that. And if he's doing it for the benefit of the constituents that he represents, Democrat or Republican, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you for coming on, as always. We'll see you on Inside Story. And, again, the interesting development. You were way ahead of the curve on this.
I appreciate you. Thank you. You stay well. Have a good, healthy New Year. Thank you.
Same to you,
Bye-bye.
Bob, and your family. Thank you. Bob Brady here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, so the spin, thanks, Dan, for that sound, was unbelievable with Sherelle Park. I've never heard her meltdown like this, and she has to sit there with the city council president. I'd love to get Kenyatta Johnson on. He only came on once before, so we'll make a try. Just the scripture. Do you like that? 855-839-1210. Soon as I hear somebody say that, I'll tell you my initial reaction. Stop it already. I'm not believing it. You're covering up. Well, God told me this today when I open up my scripture. Yeah, Josh Harris wasn't praying. He was telling you what to do here when he tapped you there, Council President. You guys did what the Sixers wanted here. And if it's the Eagles, I would understand the difficulty. If the Eagles threaten you with anything, now will they in the future? Will they say, well, we're going to need more here? 855-839-1210. It comes back to this thing. You just heard Bob say, how likely was it the Sixers would go to Camden? Of course they'll threaten that. And then we would be told, oh, man, whatever rolling into Camden is going to be completely safe. You can go to Camden now, and everything's going to be completely safe. Just like SEPTA was going to be. Stop it already. All right, hit us on the side question. We're looking for a rags to riches story, real or fictional, at 855-839-1210. Coming up, Bob Brady just mentioned Joe Biden. We're seeing the exit interviews of a sort, although he doesn't do it with the full media. Great column today. Who's the face out of all these characters that we've seen in the 4 years of Biden? Great column at National Review. I'll tell you who they say it is. And it's somebody who we're familiar with here in Pennsylvania. And it's somebody who's a perfect example of how radical these years have been and incompetent. All straight ahead on Talk Radio 1210.
Your weeknights are getting a whole lot better. With Jimmy Fallon, 7 to 10 p.m.
Back when I was a cab driver, trying to make my way in comedy and find some entree into television and radio and everything in between, I was writing articles, mocking sports culture and cancel culture and things like that. And they had booked me an interview on WPHT. They were the very first radio station to ever book me as a guest. We had a lot of laughs. So to be sitting here, 8 or 9 years later as a host in your lineup is obviously a really big deal to me personally.
Jimmy Fallon, now weeknights, 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Score the winning touchdown at Borgata during the Big Screen Blitz. Earn entries for your chance to be one of the lucky winners to get an 85-inch Samsung Smart TV, valued at $1,100. Drawings every Saturday, now through January 25th. Score big during the Big Screen Blitz. Only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Start the new year by making a statement in your home with beautiful, high-quality furniture from Bucks County Estate Traders. Each one of their 16,000 pieces is meticulously cared for and inspected before being displayed. Many pieces are even reupholstered by their talented team of craftsmen. You can furnish every room in your home with one trip to Bucks County Estate Traders. Their team of knowledgeable professionals provides a relaxed and rewarding experience. Visit buckscountyestatetraders.com or their showroom in Hatfield.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Free speech lives here. With Don Stensland, 10 till noon. On Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. So who's the face of the Biden years? A National Review pegs it beautifully. Rachel Levine. A big picture of her with the mask on, the whole thing. Joe Biden is spending the final weeks of his presidency desperately trying to forge a positive legacy. But one of his appointees may have already helped define it for him. And they go on to talk about a recent interview Rachel Levine did on NPR. NPR listeners learned that Levine is a pediatrician with a specialty in adolescent medicine. They did not learn, though, that Rachel Levine, while here in Pennsylvania, put COVID patients into nursing homes. Pennsylvania had surpassed 12,500 nursing home deaths, was the largest state where nursing home and care facility deaths accounted for over 50% of statewide COVID fatalities. All this while he removed his own 95-year-old mother from a nursing home. Levine's parting incompetency even failed the vaccines he cares so much about, leaving to his successor the role of COVID vaccine distribution program. Remember that? How messed up it was, particularly here in Philadelphia. They go on to say, once confirmed into the Health and Human Services position, Levine became the latest symbol used by the progressive commanding heights of culture to advance the most radical claims of the transgender movement. So, yeah, I think that's a good pick. The face of the Biden years, these 4 years, Rachel Levine. Now, you might think the French woman who's the press secretary is a pretty good second, but it kind of summarizes exactly what's been going on here over these 4 years. 855-839-1210. You heard Bob Brady. You heard some from the news conference. And the spin, does it bother you when someone, not once but twice in the middle of this, starts citing scripture? Stop it already. Just stop. You may or may not be real. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of hearing that stuff. I'm the one that is just honestly wanting religion to have its proper role, not these phony politicians who engage in this to cover their tracks when, once again, they're knuckleheads used by these corporate entities. The Sixers are going to go to Camden. Come on now. Well, what if they did? Yeah, well, so what? They can threaten you with anything. You got to be kidding me. It's not the Eagles. The Eagles threaten you with stuff. That's a tougher call. But I'd love to hear from you. I think most people are on board with it. I think most people say give these sports teams what they want. What's the reason for that? Why this entity versus other entities? It's fictitious that it actually generates a lot of economic development. Isn't it that people want it? I understand that. There is a hometown thing. Would it be different if, say, a team moved to Jersey? I mean, they do that in New York. It has nothing to do with anything. They're still the New York Giants. Any number of these entities don't play inside the city limits. They're suburban. I don't know about most of them, but it seems to me up and down the line they are. So why is there such a fear over this that they get caught up going down this path? All right, Judge Cannon, remember Judge Cannon in the Florida case, is going to release the Jack Smith report. She had balked at it before, but now going to release it. So we'll let you know what it says in there around President Trump. Ultimately, this stuff doesn't matter. All they have as he begins his inauguration is the fact he has a title of felon president. That's all that they wanted out of this, and we'll see what Jack Smith has to say. 855-839-1210. Let's go to Charlie in Orland on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Charlie, good afternoon.
Hi, Dom. How are you?
Good, Charlie.
If the Sixers want to go to Camden, they certainly can go. Goodbye.
How about the Eagles, though?
Oh, no, the Eagles got to stay. The NFL's got to stay.
See what I mean? The Eagles are being good corporate citizens in a sense here. They're not asking for more billions. They might at some point, but yeah, the Eagles could drive a hard bargain. Yeah, why the Sixers, though?
Why the Sixers? I lost all interest in professional basketball.
Yeah, look, I hear you, Charlie. I mean, I'd call their if I were sitting in the room, based upon what you and I see, I'd call their bluff. They don't have the leverage. They don't have the upper hand. They go to Camden. More people are not going to go to their games. They're not. They haven't gotten past the second round anyhow. They don't galvanize the city. It's not like the Eagles or Phillies. They're way behind in third place.
Yeah, I used to go to Camden all the time to watch the Camden Bullets.
Okay.
Actually, years ago.
Well, and that might be an appropriate setting for Camden, but okay. What is your?
That's about it.
What is your rags to riches? Yes.
Jake Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies. They went from hillbillies in the Ozarks of Missouri to Beverly Hills.
All right, very nice. Texas Tea. Yeah, exactly. The whole Beverly Hills Billies thing. But why this? These guys must sense it, politicians and others. They're afraid. Plus, there's insider, God knows the stuff that goes on with this. The whole clack of people that buy this stuff now. Wow. We got all these jobs. Chinatown's fine. And everybody's happy. The Sixers are going to stay in Philadelphia. There's not a groundswell for the Sixers in that regard. People that love sports watch, yes. But there's no groundswell if they happen to leave and go across the bridge. That's not going to work. The Eagles, it would never happen. They'll give them anything they want. And I understand the rationale for that. It is beyond belief. I don't know that there's any phenomena. And it's not just the NFL. It's specifically Philadelphia and the Eagles that are wedded beyond belief. And it gets more staggering every single day. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it at the top of the show, but the guy that we talked about last week in California that was here with the blowtorch, remember, subdued citizens arrest? They said they couldn't charge him with probable cause. He's on a bike with a giant blowtorch in an area of Pacific Palisades that has been incredibly hard hit. His name, according to news reports, is Juan Manuel Sierra Levi, identified as an illegal immigrant from Mexico, arrested with the blowtorch in Woodland Hills, right there near Palisades. Residents subdued him after witnessing him allegedly attempting to ignite fires. So here's a guy here, again, California, and I asked Alan West about this. They want $250 billion when the dust settles here, something like that. Are you on board with that? And Republicans saying, well, we're going to attach strings to it, one of which is to get rid of the debt ceiling. I don't want to get rid of the debt ceiling. I just think this is crazy talk. That's the last thing that we want to do. And give them $250 billion. How are you going to impact them? What strings could you place on it? They're not going to do that. They're progressives. They want to run California in that manner, and they're elected again and again and again. It's going to look inhumane if you say, yeah, well, the strings are attached to this, and then we'll give you the money. But obviously, based on their policies, why would we fund this? You do have the human element. What are these people going to do that were burned out? What are they supposed to do? California had knocked away insurance companies, made it more difficult. By the way, the other thing that the Trump people are even talking about that I'm dead set against, and sadly it affects listeners in Jersey, the salt tax, the state and local taxation, they want to up how much you can deduct. So Jersey, New York, California, what do? They put in enormous taxes on people, and then people in Pennsylvania and other states are supposed to pay for that by giving them a federal tax break. They're never going to stop adding to that. They'll always go spending unless they have pressure to stop it. But apparently the Trump people even are looking at this. It's a non-starter. We've been through this before. All right, Alan in Hamilton. Alan on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Alan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'd like to nominate Booker T. Washington as the ultimate in the Horatio Alger rags to riches idea.
All right, why? Tell us why.
Well, think of it. He was born into slavery in 1806, and he rose by 1915 to be the leader of the Negro race in the United States.
Yeah, well, Booker T. Washington is one of those fabulous American success stories, without a doubt. Okay, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. So the whole Sixers matter after all this. I haven't seen the Inquirer, some of the others. I haven't seen any dissent other than the Working Families Party. But what a joke. They use all these people politically, and then these people, for their own reputation, have to tell you that everything was great here. We came out so much more ahead in this. Why this entity? Why sports? Try doing that with some other entity. And what do you think people would say? No, these are just billionaires getting wealthier. That's all this is. Why should why are the other billionaires or millionaires the ones with that's bad? Go after them. They deserve punishment almost for being that wealthy. But when it comes to sports billionaires, we'll put up with them because this is what people want. Big-time pro sports, particularly the NFL. Could Philadelphia be a first-class city without the Eagles? The answer is no. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be seen as that. It would be seen as lesser. It would lose any kind of cachet. You just can't do that. I remember when Baltimore lost their team. You got to put another franchise in there. That's the way that it works. All right, 855-839-1210. You get a line coming up. What is the secret quality you need to have that I think at least 50 or 60% of people listening right now have in order to help out with the National Archives? Wait until you hear what they're looking for and how few people they think have it that are, say, under 40. And it's a pretty simple thing. 855-839-1210. Hey, I've got an important question to ask you. Are you planning to sell your home in 2025? The housing market is changing fast, and it's not what it used to be. But my great friend Diane Giordano from Giordano Realtors wants to help you stay ahead of the shifting real estate market and increase the value of your home. Put this one into your calendar. Diane is hosting a free breakfast seminar Saturday morning, February 1st at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington. Diane will show you how to tackle today's uncertain market with rising inventory, fluctuating interest rates, low-cost ways to stage your home. She's the master of that, and lots of other insights. I'll be there that morning. It's always a great time to meet all of you and get Diane's advice. Plus, she'll be signing copies of her new book, Model Home Mindset. You don't want to wing it when selling your home. Diane Giordano does all the homework and gets your home sold for top dollar. All you have to do, it's free, all of this. RSVP now, call 215-576-8666 or visit 215-576-8666.com. I'll see you with Diane over at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Washington on February 1st.
Inflation, recession, interest rates, the Fed. How do you make sense of it all? Join Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk for years about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. I love the work the Chapman family team has done in my home, especially that glass wall of patio doors in my foyer. You know by now, if I needed new windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation, I would only trust the Chapman family team. Until the end of January, get 50% off any standard door installation when you buy a new door. A new front entry door can really change the look of your home. If you have an upcoming wedding or maybe a graduation taking place this year, I'd take advantage of this fantastic promotion before it's too late. And yes, you have so many choices with the Chapman family team, including Provia. They're going to work with you to pick the perfect door for you. Either visit their showroom in Westchester or they'll come to your home. Call or text 610-431-8898. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, tell Dawn sent you.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. All right, so what is the secret power, because it's fallen so much out of use? The National Archives is looking for people to read documents, not necessarily of the highest order, but documents and transcribe them, essentially. And the skill they can't find enough people with, these are volunteers, is cursive. Apparently, not just the ability to write it, but the ability to read it. That part.
Why do you need it?
Why do we need what? Cursive?
Cursive.
Oh, my goodness. This is like, this could be a side question. Things that we think we don't
for
need.
Real, like why? We write without lines connecting. Perfectly fine.
I don't think so, but that's okay.
Well, just the only reason, you know what? Okay, I just talked myself into it because
that was fast.
Well, reading cursive, I guess, is an important skill. But writing cursive, who the heck cares? If kids know how to write cursive.
You have to do your signature first of all. Then you have to
know how to write it to read it, right?
Yeah.
Shut up, Dan.
Yeah, I mean,
Go home.
Henry, were you joining in on that or no?
No, I think everyone should know how to write cursive, even if it is frivolous and kind of dumb.
It is.
So you didn't have cursive in school?
No, I did.
Okay, yeah.
Dom, do you write cursive?
But I thought it was stupid the whole time.
It's scribble, but yes.
You know how to read cursive is what's important.
Yes,
right?
I mean, I write it too. I mean, okay, so when you're writing a personal letter.
Right, so yes.
What are you going to do?
I didn't want to take direct shots, but both your wife and my mother have beautiful handwriting because they're,
right.
And my wife to a degree too. Because of Catholic school. And they were taught to
Sure.
write fantastically because they can handwrite absolutely beautifully handwritten letters in cursive.
Mhm.
But when you receive one, it's nice, right?
Oh, God. He's just, this is
But do you really
attacking
judge the
motherhood.
person if the person sending it didn't write it out in cursive?
Some things are so important or so heartfelt or whatever. I think you got to write
Look,
it out.
look, my handwriting is awful, whether it's
Right.
in print or it's in cursive. So whatever you're getting from me, if I sent you a letter, that should be good enough. Whether, no matter
So what,
how
do you,
it's
what
written.
form are you putting in? You're typing it? Is essentially
No.
Okay.
No,
Printing it?
but if I'm writing, when I say print,
Well, I'm
like
not
print
writing any
versus
letters.
cursive, like
Yeah.
I'm printing the letters. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, I'm usually gonna write it in print because my cursive is just as, ineligible. Illegible. Like you can't read it.
I still think the nice cursive
When was the
is
last
more
time you
heartfelt.
wrote more than 100 words in one sitting?
In the last couple of weeks.
No, really?
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember the last time I sat down.
I
and wrote
mean,
that.
it takes me, it's laborious because sometimes you can't read my handwriting on checks even.
Yeah.
So what do you do with checks? Oh, we don't have checks. Venmo, PayPal,
Yeah, you
everything.
write without
Yeah,
cursive.
I can't remember the last time I've written a check out.
Not
That's
even
in
a
high
check
school.
now. Who's picking up the check? We're not doing any of that. Nobody's writing anything here.
But do you write your checks in cursive?
Sure.
I sign them.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess the signature.
The
part.
amount and who it's to.
But I
Yeah.
don't. I don't do the amount in cursive.
Well, you have to, right? I thought you had to write
can't
that.
write
line.
It's got to
numbers
be.
in
It's got to be
cursive? Just print it?
legible. So I
You
can't
print
print
it?
it. in
Oh, you're talking
cursive.
about like when you write it out.
It might be fraud then if it's printing. No, Dan Rowe has, but Luke's is beyond belief. His is this tiny, beautiful stuff. It's annoying beyond belief.
Yeah.
DJ takes paper plates and scribbles stuff on it and gets another one. Ideas that he.
But the amount of time, real estate that we can teach these kids how to write beautifully can't be spent elsewhere.
Well,
like
you'd be
programming,
amazed.
coding on the
Okay.
on the computer.
If you would Google it, you would see. Now, I was skeptical of this. This came up, this conversation 20 years ago. It started, this whole thing. How much scientists, psychologists, and others say higher order skills are related to cursive? There have been umpteen studies, and they don't seem to have an axe to grind. They believe it. Don't you remember we had the guy on that once cursive taught in school in Pennsylvania?
like
Yeah.
understanding historic documents, yeah.
Right.
But we're not still teaching kids to replace their S's with F's,
Okay.
and we can still read the Constitution.
You think they can read as well, though, if they don't understand cursive? It's not just a reading skill. You got to practice it a little bit. I must be in a different universe where cursive is not readily available every day. But National Archives are saying cursive falling out of use. They want people to volunteer to read these documents. And again, they're not Washington necessarily. They could be lesser figures and transcribe them. All right. Somebody bail me out here. Henry's at least I'm looking
once
I
they're
can do something.
translated,
Yes.
do you really need to still know how to read cursive?
Yeah, of course. I just told you the higher order skills.
Okay.
I don't know. All I know is that when I had to write cursive, I just couldn't wait to not write cursive anymore. Whatever, K through 8th grade, they were like cursive.
Right.
As soon as they're like, you don't have to write your notes in cursive, I went, okay, I'm not doing that for the rest of my life, and I still haven't.
Look, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just
Yeah.
saying I'd rather my kid learn C++ or a programming language than have to
They could do
learn
that
to write
too.
fancily in
Yeah,
cursive.
I mean, there's a lot of other things I would knock off in school. So let me throw it out this way. These two guys right here at varying degrees. You don't need cursive. We don't need cursive in school. Stop it already.
I don't think it should be maybe as hammered down on me as
Right.
like yeah, if it was hammered on me for like 9 years, no, but
Right.
like to be able to learn it, just to have it in the back pocket, yeah, I
No,
think that's
instead you
fine.
were hammered
But
for
don't
9 years.
spend,
Yeah.
don't spend this inordinate amount of time in English class really hammering down.
I don't
cursive.
remember, even in Catholic school, that it was that many minutes of a day.
When they taught it, I remember it was like the first thing we'd do every day, every morning. That was the first thing we'd do
Right.
for like that full first period, maybe even second period. And then, yeah, just going from there it's just everything.
Well, look,
everything
to my advantage, my handwriting is beyond horrible. If captured behind enemy lines, you wouldn't be able to decipher it.
I didn't want to say it, but
it's
happy
beyond.
you're self-admitting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know it.
Self-reporting.
And I try. I actually have to try to write backwards. I have to start forming. That's the only way I do it.
I honestly don't know. You might be top 3 all time in my life. People I've experienced handwriting being the worst.
Yeah, thank you for that. I would agree.
Yeah.
And it's not lack
up there
of
with my dentist and my doctor.
Trying. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, and I can't. That's another thing. All right, medical errors.
No.
How do doctors get away with it? Things can easily be transcribed wrong. Why do we joke about doctors that you can't read what they're writing?
Bob on YouTube says this generation can't even sign their name. It's crazy.
That's right. So, there are people that can't. What do you mean, Simon? They don't even have the concept.
When my brother first got his license, even though he knows cursive, he hated it so much that he printed his name on his license.
Well, that's an invalid license.
Then when he had it in his hands, he was like, "Oh, this looks terrible." So whatever. For the first 4 years of having a license, he just had to, shamefully carry it around.
Journalistic expert. My father says, teach AI to read cursive and problem solved.
Oh, man, that's okay. AI to the rescue of another failing. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Do you know cursive? It's amazing to me that the National Archives has to ask for people to step forward to read these documents and transcribe them, that it's that much of a lost skill. It's the same thing with cash in your pocket. It's another round. It's just amazing to me that it's a convenience to have cash in your pocket.
I need the cash a lot more than I need the signature.
Well, right, yeah. Well, true.
Look, the only time I'm going to need the signature is if I'm signing for a card, so if I have cash.
Well,
renders cursive moot.
Yeah. All right, 855-839-1210. The idea of we've been down this path. Is this just one of those conservative, they come back to it? We had the guy on just 6 months or so ago, has a bill in the House demanding cursive somewhat in schools. And you would think people would go for that, but maybe not. Maybe the argument is, why do you need something like this? Just like, why do you need cash in your pocket? I think there's a whole array of other things that don't make sense to me. It's almost like going out of your way of something that's small to do, allegedly to be more convenient. All right, let's go to
Chris. This is a crazy story. I was just screening here. But
yes. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump
on
on
good.
you.
No, that's all right. That's where I was going. Let's go to Chris in South Jersey. Hey, Chris, bail me out. I need some help here.
So they do not teach cursive anymore. My daughter had a 4th grade teacher that gave her a book when she asked to learn cursive. She gave her a book and said, "Here, teach yourself."
Wow.
She then went to high school. We live in a rural area where we do not have internet. We don't even have a home computer. We only get internet on our phones. She had a report due. We don't have a home computer. She wrote out the report in cursive, handed it in, and the teacher gave it back to her because the teacher could not read it and made her do it in
my
class
God. How
on a
is this
computer.
possible? What world are we in? The teacher couldn't read cursive. Murphy would probably be over there to give her a special recognition award. My God.
There you go. It's South Jersey. It's a teacher with the NJ.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's what we live with in South Jersey.
What do you say to my two producers making arguments? We don't need any stinking cursive. Come on.
What is wrong with learning it? It's just like learning history. It's required. You just do it. And like you said, they can't even sign their own name. My granddaughter can. And my granddaughter and wait a minute. Do you all know how to fill out a check? Because I know an awful lot of people that can't even fill out a check. My granddaughter knows how to fill out a check.
Well, I hope if she gets married in the future, she's not writing that many. That's the thing. I wish she couldn't fill. Bro, I wish she couldn't write cursive. Stop her.
She can write cursive, but she writes it beautifully.
Thank you. Go easy on the checks. Don't teach her that. Oh, God. All right. Here's a real contrarian. All-time great caller. Not bad, because we like to joust back and forth. Joe in National Park, captain of the Democrat Party on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, what do you have?
Hey, Dominic, how you doing?
Good, Joe. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Yeah, I went to Catholic school. I went to St. James, Penns Grove, New Jersey, and we used to have to do the cursive thing. And my cursive was always, it was called either hieroglyphics or chicken scratch. So that's how my cursive was described. And I had never, as soon as I got out of, Catholic school, I stopped writing in cursive and I just printed everything. And I had to take a test where I actually had to write a paragraph in cursive just to, so it could be verified that I was the one that took the test. That was monumentally difficult.
I can't imagine we're living in America. Are we a third world country? My God. Oh.
Because I hadn't done it I hadn't written in cursive for so long. But I'm in the camp that says, is it necessary? I write in print, but
Joe, just think you're getting
objective.
Am I wrong? You're getting a letter from someone and it's printed. It's something heartfelt, something a loss, someone died, and in cursive versus in print. I'm just looking at something in print. It's like a kidnapping note. You don't want to be known. See, cursive is distinctive. Dan, can we put my cursive
Give me
on
magazines,
YouTube?
I'll make a ransom note, and that's all right. Right? Like, I don't need cursive. It's an outdated technology at this point.
Hey, look, in a side note, Ronald Reagan was he wrote a staggering amount of personal letters, which is a great thing.
Right.
Because just for posterity. But he wrote I don't know the exact total, but he wrote a staggering amount of handwritten personal letters in his lifetime. I don't know how many presidents wrote that much, but it's just a great thing just for history and for posterity that he wrote so much.
Yeah, it's a shame we're raising generations that wouldn't be able to read it. Who's this guy? What's he talking about?
They should have been writing without cursive. It's easier to read anyway.
Oh, goodness.
Don't need your E's to look like L's.
All right, 855-839-1210.
Pastor Devlin chiming in, Dom. Says, cursive haters are a sign of the increase of laziness within our American culture.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of, yes. I was going to say, he said you're going to hell, too. But, that's just a side. It's going to be, after, all right, writing cursive. Do you have any cash in your pocket? No, you're out. That's it. Ah, goodness. 855. I'm just amazed, though. Dan, is there anything you're amazed at that kids today do or don't do? Say the gap is maybe 20 years, 25 years. Anything? No?
Sleepovers. They don't have enough sleepovers.
Oh, that's right. They don't do enough sleepover. Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy's working on that.
We need more sleepovers in this younger generation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean that in face-to-face, casual hanging out between kids rather than the stupid sitting in other rooms playing the same dang video game and communicating on a headset while you're in the same physical location but not being in the same room. It makes no sense to me, this young generation.
Well, we're all going to be math Olympiads. That's what Vivek says, yeah. I'm still in a hangover from over the holidays, going after him on that. All right, here's how you get in. 855-839-1210. Scott Presler, I bet he writes in cursive. He's going to be here at 2 with big updates on a lot of stuff. All that on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Quite a surprise pivot for the 76ers. The team striking a deal reportedly with Comcast Spectacor to remain in the South Philadelphia sports complex.
Is this a loss for Sherelle Parker? This would go down as one of the highlights of her tenure.
I think that's why she was excited about it.
So in a 72-hour stretch, Macy's, no more in the Wanamaker building, and you don't get the arena.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
When
you need to know. Depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The Sixers are scrapping their Center City Arena plan and will work to get a new stadium in South Philly. The company that owns Crozier Chester and Taylor Hospitals in Delaware County has filed for bankruptcy. And the Eagles will host the winner of tonight's Rams-Vikings game in the divisional round of the playoffs next Sunday.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Not yet. Do it today. Okay. At 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Man, on Twitter, people all over the place. One woman saying, yeah, writing in cursive. What's next, Dom? You're going to say bring Latin back to the schools? No, there was never any reason for Latin. That was ridiculous. But cursive, not even thinking like, what are you talking about when this comes up? It's not an ancient skill, but apparently it is so much. National Archives are looking for people that can read cursive, then transcribe what they read from all these diaries and historical things.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a volunteer position.
Oh, it's volunteer?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
But apparently because they can't find enough people.
Well, because they're not paying anybody.
Well, no, they're saying because, these people that usually volunteer to help them can't read cursive. Let's go to Maureen in Wynwood on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Maureen.
Good afternoon, Tom. Thanks for this conversation. I think it's great. Thanks. Hi, everybody else. Yeah, so I was telling the screener that I never learned how to print. When I got into first grade, I didn't go to kindergarten. There wasn't one. And then I learned cursive from first grade, the Palmer method, like all the other Catholic school kids.
Yes. So you can't print, though.
And,
okay.
Yeah, and I can't print. I mix capital and small letters. When I try to print, I forget which one is which. So
really? No, I don't buy it. Like, so you can't just write with normal handwriting. You have to connect all your letters and use cursive.
Well, no, I know how to print now, but I mix the letters. And a small E is harder to write than a capital E.
It
is. The arthritis in my fingers.
Sure.
So do you think you'd be able to? You think you'd ever learn how to actually write had you not learned cursive then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean I don't mind. I remember when my kids were younger, I'd leave them a note and I'd write it out, and they'd be real angry when I got home because they said, "Well, we couldn't read it. It was written in script."
I can't understand that. I can't understand. My mind can't wrap around it. You can't read this. It's just mind-boggling.
No, I agree.
Yes, thank you, Maureen. It's just that's why talk radio is great. There are things that are out there that are never coalesced together.
I can get it. It's like almost like a different language at that point.
I get it.
It's like I don't know. Maybe this is a stretch too far, but like reading Latin and be like, oh, I recognize some of those prefixes and suffixes, but you don't really know what the words mean.
Right.
Latin's used the same letter.
Yeah,
I think Latin is
extreme. I said it was a stretch.
Yeah, come up with another now. By the way, in the next hour,
completely different. So.
Dan's a little under the weather, but we'll pick this up tomorrow again with you. I just saw this. We got to get these people on. A pizzeria in Norwich, Norfolk, has made the cost of one standard Hawaiian pizza $125 in order to show their displeasure with people putting pineapples on pizza.
Why even have...
No, I think they're making a statement that I want to go to that place because they're not standing for this. Pineapples, get the hell out. Well, I really want pineapples. Throw them out. It's the next
If
level.
you don't want people to order them, then just don't have it on your menu.
Yeah.
No, it's sending a message to pizza connoisseurs. They're not going to give in on this.
You're just gonna get like the anti-establishment people calling.
I feel like
and
people
like,
are
I
now,
want 20 of those.
People are
pizzas
now going to be driven to go to that restaurant to get that as Henry's saying, that $120 Hawaiian pizza.
Might be smart for a minute.
You're going to pay $125 for an Hawaiian pizza. All right, that's 2 o'clock. But let's go to, I think Donna's going to read the riot act here in Maryland. Hey, Donna, good afternoon.
Hi, everyone. Hey, I had to teach my kids to write cursive, and we did it over summertime every summer. The importance of learning to read and write script is because the Constitution of the United States is written in cursive. It's the most important document other than the Bible, and it's imperative for the continuation of our country and the freedoms we have to learn how to read and write script.
All right, okay. Donna, you're a witness here, Henry and Dan. What do you say to that declaration?
Well, my thing is, like, we don't force kids to learn Sanskrit so they can read old, ancient documents. Once we translated it out of Sanskrit, we just kind of, forgot about it.
Well, but you're not translating. It's in English.
Yeah,
the
but
declaration.
That's what I'm saying is, you just teach the kids what it says, but they don't have to read exactly the loops and the poles of cursive.
All right, Donna, it's a long war. Good point that you made.
I go with the laziness. And then it also is supposed to help with the left brain, right brain, creativity. I can't remember.
Yes, that's been proven.
Well, it clearly doesn't help if you can't remember, right?
All right. Coming up, we're going to talk with Scott Presler, but we'll take more calls after that. I hosted him along with Mike Donahue and Eustace over at the and Robin, the Wales guy over at the Icona on Saturday. Mesmerizing, this guy. Even Rose saw him. He was coming in late, had to brush the hair as he's running to the thing. And nice suit on, but he's got some information. He's got some updates. And what are people across Jersey telling Scott Presler is the issue or issues that they're passionate about? He's next. Keep the calls coming. I'll tell you about this pizza place, though. $125 to get this pizza. 855-839-1210.
Earn unlimited cash back up to 4% when you use your American Heritage Cash Reward MasterCard for essential items such as groceries, gas, and purchases from pharmacies and home improvement stores. You'll earn 2% cash back on all other purchases, such as travel and dining. There's no limit on the amount of cash back you can earn, giving you more purchasing power for each transaction. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/cashback. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. Equal Opportunity Lender.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit dkappliances.com.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese. My wife Cindy and I had a new roof installed by Impriano Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and we're delighted. When it comes to your roof, good planning is essential. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, serving our area for over 5 decades, using only the best CertainTeed products. If you need a new roof, call Jack Impriano Roofing. Online at impriano.com. It's good to hire Jack and his team. Remember, the best homes have an Impriano roof.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. The doctor's in, our weekly visit with the one and only Scott Presler. Fresh off what I witnessed in person, mesmerizing, down there in Avalon over the weekend. Let's go to Scott Presler. Hey, Scott, congratulations. People loved it, as always.
Thank you, Dom. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Scott. So the New Jersey people, Scott, you talked about this on Saturday down in Avalon. What are some of the things they're telling you are important, grassroots, in this upcoming election?
Well, I've been in New Jersey for the last better part of a week. And, you know, I'm new to this state. I know Pennsylvania really well, but this is a new venture coming to NJ. And so when I come in, you know, the best way to experience something is to really be in the thick of it. And so a couple days ago, I met with one half of the county chairs, and this covered Cape May to Atlantic, Camden, Gloucester, Middlesex, and Monmouth. And now I feel like I know half of the state. And so today I'm meeting with the other half of the chairs that's going to encompass more of North Jersey. Now, when it comes to South Jersey, one issue in particular that really stands out is the people, at least from what I'm surmising, are very against the offshore wind turbines that Democrats, notably Governor Murphy and the legislature, really, they're profiting off of the killing of our marine wildlife and our whales, et cetera. And so this is an issue I think that you're going to see really percolate up to the surface, no pun intended, going into this gubernatorial election. And I hear that President Trump, he is even perhaps going to sign on day one an executive order banning offshore wind turbines from being put up on day one of his assuming office. And I think that's going to be very important, that conversation, especially going into November of this year in New Jersey.
Absolutely. And also you talked about affordability across the board. And again, Scott, you know, I think people there would like to hear you as a strategist. You've morphed into that, not just people, you made this point out there, registering people to vote, about how to talk about affordability, because it's obvious the party that has made it so unaffordable up and down the line have been progressives, Murphy and other Democrats. Republicans ought to be able to win just on that issue alone.
Well, I had a conversation with Politico earlier today, and she asked me a question, the reporter, which I found a little interesting. You know, she says, how do you reach out to black voters in general? And I just, you know, I always find that kind of interesting because no one will really ask you, you know, how do you reach out to white voters? And I'm not saying that disrespectfully, but I'm like, look, I would talk to the black community the same as I would talk to every other community. And I would say New Jersey Democrats have made it very difficult for people to afford homes. They've made it very difficult to afford businesses. And especially in relation to wanting to have a family and wanting to create a legacy for your family, well, there is nothing better than having generational wealth through home ownership and through business ownership. And I would argue that the insanely high taxes, property taxes, just make it difficult in general for every single family in New Jersey and in other states across the country to create that wealth. And so that's why I'm hopeful that in the voter registration that we're doing and the getting people to commit to voting this November, well, let's have a change in direction, a change of leadership. And you not only have the ability to elect a Republican governor this November in New Jersey, but the state assembly, the assembly seats are also up for election. So if you want the governor to be able to legislate, then you need to vote from the top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket.
Absolutely. And again, Scott, several people told me coming away, meeting you, the tactics that they heard from afar about how doable this is. Even several people were texting me talk of a Presler bus. I certainly would love to see that across the state of Jersey. Come on now.
You know, I mean, I would consider it. You know, the majority of my time is going to be spent in Jersey this year. And gosh, I love Pennsylvania, and I hope that people are still going to continue to register to vote in that state. But I tell you, it makes my life a whole lot easier going from 67 counties to 21.
Oh, absolutely. But on Twitter, you were touting today, we do have new Pennsylvania registration numbers.
We do. And actually, here on speakerphone just for a second, because I want to read this very clearly, and I want to communicate the actual numbers. Okay, so get this. And I posted beforehand, you know, this is total domination. This is the destruction and erosion of the Democrat Party that we're seeing, especially in Pennsylvania. Okay, guys, get this. A week ago, Democrats had an advantage of 211,700 voter registrations. Today, because we got that data every Monday, that lead has been narrowed to 207,900. So it's January, Dom. This is fresh off the year. We just had a major presidential election, and the Democrats in the last 7 days lost a net loss of 3,800 voters. Now, there was no purge. It's not like these counties are still purging voters. 473 Republicans, for whatever reason, they flipped to Democrat, but at the same time, 1,423 Democrats switched to Republican. So I think what's going on is you're seeing people are excited about the incoming president, Donald J. Trump, our 47th and 45th. They're saying, oh, my gosh, I can't believe what's happening with the wildfires and the complete incompetence and the dereliction of duty from the one-party Democrat-controlled state of California. And furthermore, even more national, is they are thinking, wow, 159 Democrats voted against the Lake and Riley bill. And I really want to hone in on this for a second. 159 Democrats in the House of Representatives voted against the detaining of illegal aliens that are responsible for theft-related crimes. You really have to ask yourself, why would any responsible American, regardless of party, be against detaining illegal aliens, especially those who have committed theft, who have committed crime? And furthermore, if we as responsible Americans truly care about women, you always hear about how important women are, which they are. Wasn't Molly Tibbetts important? Wasn't Lake and Riley important? Wasn't Jocelyn Nungaray important? Wasn't Kate Steinle important? And the list goes on and on and on. And I think Americans are tired of the Democrat Party selling us out and not putting American citizens first.
Beautifully put. And from what I'm told, Scott, Mickey Sherrill and the Gottheimer guy, they're the two leading Democrats, the people I trust in Jersey. On the other side for governor, both of them didn't even show up to vote. And the reason that's even worse, they didn't show up to vote. They couldn't figure a way to vote. They wanted to vote no to Lake and Riley, but they realized even in Jersey, we're seeing the turnaround. And Scott, again, the highlight to me, though, is in the middle of all that. And these people in Avalon are celebrating you, et cetera. You take the time to talk about the, quote, unsexy but most important thing going on in Pennsylvania. 3 of these Democrats up for retention this time around. It's an easy vote not to retain. And this is one we control because it's low turnout. If we remember it and we're on it, we can turn the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. So yes, even and real quick, just for the New Jersey voter that's listening, I just want to repeat what Dom just said. 2 of the leading Democrat gubernatorial candidates, Cheryl and Gottheimer, that are running to be your governor, they did not even vote either for or against the Laken Riley bill. That issue of illegal immigration is so toxic right now to the disgraced Democrat Party that they wouldn't even vote for it. And furthermore, your 2 Democrat senators, while 89 senators in a bipartisan fashion got their act together and pushed forward the Laken Riley bill, neither Kim nor Cory Booker voted. They voted against pushing forward the Laken Riley bill. That is the state of Democrats in New Jersey, just to really hone in on the issue because that's important. Now, in Pennsylvania, we do have 3 Democrat Supreme Court justices that are up for retention this November. And so in addition to our work in NJ, we are continuing in PA, and I'm asking every single Pennsylvania voter, if you believe that the election was stolen in 2020, as I do, these Democrat Supreme Court justices allowed for mail-in ballots to be received 3 days after Election Day. They contributed to the shenanigans in 2020. To any of the Green Party people that are listening right now to 1210 Talk Radio, in 2020, these Supreme Court justices voted to kick off a Green Party candidate from the ballot for president in 2020. These Democrat justices are against democracy, or they would have allowed the Green Party on the ballot. And furthermore, to any of my people that will never forgive or forget COVID, and that these Democrat justices allowed for Democrat Governor Wolf to shut down Pennsylvania through emergency declaration orders that had no limit, then I'm asking you to vote no to retention to Justice Doherty. I'm asking you to vote no to retention to Justice Wecht, and I'm asking you to vote no to retention to Justice Donahue. And if we get out 1.5 million no to retention votes, you have the power, the voter at home, to reshape the Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
Absolutely. Scott, no Jersey numbers available yet?
Jersey is at the beginning of every month.
Okay. All right.
So I shared those numbers with you, and they are now under 900,000.
Absolutely. Scott, where do we go to help out? And again, people were contributing at the end of your talk the other day. They were right there on your site to contribute. Where do people go?
Well, thank you again for hosting that event, and I want to give a shout-out to the Icona Hotel and Eustis. Thank you for your hospitality and inviting us. And people can support our work financially at earlyvoteaction.com. You will be seeing me in February traverse New Jersey's 21 counties doing trainings, and I look forward to meeting all of y'all.
Thank you, Scott, very much. What a pleasure. Exciting, impactful. To be continued.
Thanks, Tom.
Scott Presler here on Talk Radio 1210. It was, it was a long trip to the shore. Roe went with me, and Scott Presler just delivers. So I was happy to be part of that. We may have another Jersey update tomorrow, something exciting. I can't say yet. We're working. They want to come on tomorrow after they announce and be with us on Tuesday's show. By the way, analog clocks, that's a pretty good analogy for cursive, right? That we've lost the ability to read it. I think I could still read it, but I had to read one under pressure of fighting with a guy. And I was doing a national show in Washington, Jim Bohannon show, and was Michael Eric Dyson, who is kind of a racial hustler of a sort. It was his book, and we were really getting it, and I had to hit it within 3 or 4 seconds, and I hadn't looked at an analog clock in years, and I did it, but I was still but if it were in cursive, I can't imagine. It just stuns me. All right, so we'll get
You're
back.
saying they both take a second to, kind of internalize.
Yeah, well, the
it,
analog does, and I just looked at the clock and went, oh, my God, about a minute before I forgot. And again, if I'm sitting there looking at it, I could do it. But we're arguing back and forth.
Right.
And this guy takes no prisoners, and he's in studio with me, and his whole entourage is there with the book and everything. And it's my first time doing that national show in studio with somebody like that. And they have an analog clock up. I'm thinking I'm in prehistoric times. Is it 48? Is it 47? Hike. All right, but right now, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Has all the money gone?
All right, we have a $50 gift card. Always comes in handy to Ace Hardware. Did you receive an Ace Hardware gift card over the holidays? In celebration of National Use Your Gift Card Day, Saturday, January 18th, treat yourself to a wide selection of high-quality products at your local Ace Hardware. For more information, visit acehardware.com. Henry?
Yeah, Dom. So today's side question, who that all-time rags to riches story. Song about going from rags to riches, in a sense, is Donna Summer's She Works Hard for the Money.
Right.
So I'm going to play a cover of that song today. I want to hear from you guys, the listeners, what language is this cover being sung in?
All right, always delving into Dan's side, the language thing. Sometimes we need some clues after that, but let's play it straight.
Really rolling those R's there,
right,
too.
Yes. So what is the language you're hearing with the fabled Donna Summer here? That's what we're looking for. 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210.
America is the greatest country in the world. And the other thing great countries do is they make sure that they can keep their people warm in the winter and cool in the summer because we have the energy that we need and we're not dependent upon countries that are lesser countries. We should not in the United States of America be dependent upon Venezuela. America is better than Venezuela. We should all be able to say that. We're better than Venezuela. We're better than China. We shouldn't be dependent on China. We're better than Russia. For the longest time, the left wouldn't let you say this. I'm proud to say America's better than China.
Rich Zioli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chances of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful to both recovery and mental health. To learn more, visit tobaccofreerecoverypa.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Public Health.
You've got the whole season planned. Shopping list, the dinner parties, who's picking up who at the airport. When someone asks, why is the heat not coming on? First you panic. You fill up a swear jar. Then you remember that Horizon Services commercial about their experts being there the same day for any problems and how they'll install a new HVAC system with no payments and 0% interest until 2025. Oh, you stop panicking and realize your swear jar will cover the Horizon visit. Book today at horizonservices.com.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Dawn.com. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriati, NPN number 2083768.
Dawn Stensland here. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles feature the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. Sleek new designs and innovative features with thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles available across Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, it is Dom's Money Melody for a big prize, $50 gift card to Ace Hardware. Maybe we'll have them most of this week. What language is his all-time song being sung in? All right, hit us with that. Let's try Deborah in Maple Shade. Hey, Deborah, afternoon. What language is that?
Danish.
Close.
Okay.
Kissing cousins. Very close, Deborah. Todd in Telford. How alliterative, Todd in Telford. Todd, what's the language?
Hi, Dom.
Hi.
Hey, hi. I think it's Swahili.
No, I don't remember us doing it in Swahili. It might sound a little bit more difficult. One more, then we might give another clue here. Frank, what language is it?
Based on first club, you're going to change my answer, but my answer is Lithuanian.
You're sort of in the region. All right, this country, this language, this country really beat back the Russians in World War II. Mm-hmm. So much so, a lot of skill with fighting in snow and white clothing and all that stuff. The Russians had an unbelievable time. I think they essentially gave up in World War II. Henry, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'd say this country is known for its heavy metal music, unlike its two very similar neighboring countries.
And it's often wins the happiest place on earth.
Yes.
And
definitely.
one of the reasons is apparently a lot of research on this, saunas. They're big into. David in Cherry Hill. David, what's the country?
Oh, God. Well, I guess because of all the hints you gave me, I'm going to go with Norway.
Close.
So close.
We are very close. So we had Norway. We had Denmark. By the way, Greenland looks like they're going to do it. It's going to be a big, I think within a year, we're going to be broadcasting from Greenland. Oh, man. I was once offered the ability to broadcast from North Korea. That's the only time I said no.
Oh, come on.
No, because they said, well, you can broadcast, but if you say anything they don't like, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gail in the Northeast. All right, Gail, what's the country?
It's a guess. Portugal.
Not Portugal. All right, so it's near Norway. It's near Denmark. We'll take these off air.
I think Bill's going to get it if you go to him.
Okay, you think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to Bill in Marlton. Bill, what's the country?
Let's finish up with Finnish.
Yes, the Finns.
Finland.
Dan and Henry kind of like the Finnish accent or something there. Very nice, Bill. You're headed off to Ace Hardware. Hopefully we'll have the same prize again tomorrow.
It's a very difficult language to hear because, I mean, you're rolling your R's, so you'd think like, oh, yeah, it would be like a Spanish-speaking, well, I guess Portuguese, but, you know, in that vein. And it's not. It's just up in Europe.
Yeah. Dan has done it a few times, too. All right, so Bill's the winner today. I want to play this, Henry. Cut 12. More happening in California today, and we're reduced to the lowest level. Again, Why does this concern us now? Well, human beings, 24 dead, but also they want $250 billion. When it comes down to it, that's what they're looking for. President Trump is going to tour it apparently sometime soon, maybe before the inauguration, I think. Here is the actress that one of the people who starred in Community. The other actress, Kim Whitley, I'm not sure. I think Yvette Nicole Brown was one of the 5 or 6 people in the TV show Community. Listen to what they say about what's happened here with the mayor, Karen Bass, who's African-American female.
Let me tell you something. She's got a spine of steel. Yes. And she's also been a black woman in America a very long time. So none of this is new to her. We're mad because we're tired of it. We're tired. Mad for her. We're mad for her. And we're going to stand. Listen, I don't know how you here, but I'm happy you're here. Because somebody needs to
stand, behind her and support her. Because how she handling it, you can see it in her face. She stays calm. But think about this. She has the city to take care of. She does not have time to hear from these reporters asking these questions.
She is also not mayor of every municipality in California. Yes. There are people that are mad that she didn't fix the fires in Malibu. She's not the mayor of Malibu.
You're right.
What is she supposed to do in a city she's not the mayor of?
People don't understand.
And let me say this too. I could imagine how much it would hurt to see this happening in the city that she loves. That's first. So take away how it feels for people to attack her. She's heartbroken because this is happening in her city, a city that she loves.
And the people don't understand. They don't understand how large it is because a lot of people are sitting in other parts of the city. They're not in it. They're not in the fire. They're not in the smoke. They don't see. They're not there. They're watching TV. Why? And they want to blame someone. This is not the time to blame. It's time to get some resources. She has reached out far.
All right, so we haven't talked about it with callers as much now. We're getting to the point now where it's going to be the cost as this gets contained somewhat. But can you imagine right away the race card? The woman stays in Ghana. Newsom seems to be more of the face of it. Yeah, he's bad too. But Karen Bass is the worst in this. I mean, the whole outfit, the simple things, they're using convicts now in firefighting. How about using them to clear the brush? How about doing a better job on that? How about putting in reforms that don't worry so much about a small fish, the smelt, and there was a flour they were afraid of to put in forms of changing from wood to structures that wouldn't burn like this as far as the infrastructure. But no, we're going to go down this path. So how in the world are we going to give them $250 billion in federal taxpayer money or thereabouts? And Republicans are saying they're going to attach strings to this. We had on Alan West, and he said, how are you going to attach strings to this, people? They're not going to recall Karen Bass. It's amazing, but it's not even close to that. They have 100,000 signatures. So what, based upon what she's done? Newsom, recall him? No way. There might be fledgling attempts to do. They're not going to do that. This is their ideology. They're going to stick with it. So then, what do we do to make whole people that are victims of being inside this? I'm not just talking the Hollywood type, the 5 to 10,000, 15,000, whatever, that are in the industry that are insufferable and still continue to say the same things. I get that. But I'm talking a lot of average people just burned out completely. There's insurance difficulties given California's regulations. Do you say, well, we're going to punish them because they voted for this? They continue to vote for this. I don't think we're going to do that. But what strings do you attach to these people? What do you do to stop this? It is a disease, a mentality. They'll do it again. This is what they're going to do. I've said often that progressivism is silly. We joke about it, all the nonsense that goes into it. But at its root, it also can be deadly. And this is an example of it. Now, of course, it's climate. They're pushing back on that. They're pushing back on race. They're pushing back on how overwhelming this is. Well, all these things were apparent. You know where you are. People in Florida know hurricanes. They know wildfires are fairly consistent here. And they have been consistent well before the fears of climate change. So what do you do to take steps that are deemed at least reasonable, if not extraordinary, to prevent it? That's your role. That's why you would think you want to be in power, because you want to protect citizens. That's the first duty of government. The average citizen can't do that. They could do it better if they were in power than the people that are there. They don't care about that. That's not the reason they wake up in the morning. It's their own power. It's DEI. It's any number of things. Look, Newsom's bored. He wants to be. I get that. You know, when you're one of these governors on the edge of potentially being president, heaven forbid, like Josh Shapiro, you got to fake it. You're really looking, man, national, president. That's what I want. I get that. But it is your job. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Haven't gotten that many in yet that I like. Overwhelming. I want to be overwhelmed. Hit us with an all-time great, rags to riches. Today on the calendar is Horatio Alger Day. By the way, Inner Excellence that A.J. Brown was reading yesterday is now coming close to being #1 on Amazon.
Oh, you knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is surprising. We've never seen a player do that before. And the fact that he tries to read 2 books a month, that's pretty good. You know, if I get 1 a month done, I'm thinking, wow, it's not bad. But 2 a month.
Yeah, keep that mind focused.
Yeah, it is calming, peace, and all that. I don't have any problem that he was reading that on the sideline. I don't know what else he'd be looking at.
Yeah, would you rather him throw another tantrum at his locker? Then we'd
Yeah,
really
right.
be talking
Yeah,
about
I mean, he only had 1 reception yesterday, so he was calming, doing that. That's all good. It's 855-839-1210. You can get in on everything we've been talking about, including the Sixers arena, January 6 pardons. I think Trump is going to reach a case-by-case decision. That's what you're going to see. You still may see 1,000 pardons or commutations on Inauguration Day, but it's not going to be wholesale, and that is exactly the right way to go. And the other thing is the federal money, strings attached for California, but we had a lot of action all over the place on the cursive thing, so much so that the National Archives wants you to volunteer if you can read and transcribe cursive. They don't have enough people to do it. It's such a rare thing. It's just stunning to me that that could be the case, but apparently it is. 855-839-1210. And this pizza place that we're going to try to get on in England has in their menu $125 if you want a normal-sized pizza. First of all, I'm not getting pizza in England. It's ghastly, the very idea. What could go wrong?
It's not very good.
No. I don't remember too much stuff that I did like a couple times I've been through there. But they're doing that to show their displeasure. Yet they cite a poll that says close to 50% of people are supportive of that ham and pineapple on a pizza. If you're one of them, you have to give us a call. You are just... you're a defiler of pizza. I mean, that's what this comes down to. I just 2 requirements for pizza. It'd be good, and it'd be crisp, and it would be thin. Those are only my requirements.
Those are fair requirements.
Yeah, the sloppy type of stuff, that's not my... And no toppings. Henry, is there... You can't be a 2-topping person. 1 we can let you get away with. What's your topping?
Really?
Yeah, I just...
Oh,
it's too
man.
much.
Oh, I can only have 1 topping?
Yeah, only 1 topping,
Oh, jeez. Sweet peppers.
Sweet peppers.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Why put that on a pizza?
Give it a little sweetness. What do you mean?
All right. I
little
just
sweetness,
think
little tang?
It's great by itself. I don't get the need for it, but okay.
Oh, I think it's great by itself, too.
Yes.
But, if you ask me 1 topping, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. But the Hawaiian version. Hawaii, again. Here we go. 855-839-1210. Jump in now.
Join us Monday, January 20th, starting at 6 a.m. with Kale and Company at the Newtown Athletic Club for the inauguration of Donald J. Trump. Don Stensland will be there live from 10 a.m. to noon, and Dom Giordano from 12 to 3 p.m. The Newtown Athletic Club is one of the top lifestyle clubs and health and wellness centers globally. Visit newtownathletic.com. You can't be at the inauguration, but you can be with fellow Patriots. Monday, January 20th, starting at 6 a.m. at the Newtown Athletic Club. Live on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you looking to achieve your health goals and start the new year right? Well, now's the time to optimize and support your heart health, cholesterol, digestive health, energy levels, and more with Rescue Natural Supplements with their New Year's savings. Rescue is celebrating you, so save 35% on single bottles of Rescue supplements with the code HEALTH35. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Whatever your health goals are, Rescue has you covered. To place an order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Start your journey to better health today. Use the code HEALTH35. Again, save 35% on all single supplements. Use that code HEALTH35. Don't wait. Make this year your best yet with Rescue.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Calling on Levittown. Hello there. To follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, it is stop time. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. So the Biden legacy happening, foreign policy speech today. U.S. is more capable and better prepared than we were 4 years ago. My goodness, when will it end? But on top of that, National Review today told you the face of the Biden years, Rachel Levine, is a perfect person to represent the craziness that's going on here. All right, Mike and Pittman, Talk Radio 1210. Mike, afternoon to you.
How you doing, Tom? You're going to have to excuse me. My head blew up because I was waiting on call for 10 minutes or so. You guys get too much stuff in.
Okay.
Okay, the initial topic was the
cursive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, I was in the military, so we had to print in the log books. I can do my name and I can read it, but I can't type it. I'd have to. It's one of those things. If you don't do it, you could lose it. You know.
Yeah. So, Mike, all those years, though, even if you were in the military printing, you never had to write cursively, huh?
No.
Wow.
I tried doing it like when I'm in trouble with my wife or something on the card or something with the flowers, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, on the card. Absolutely,
But
Mike.
I gotta get the card a month in advance.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for the call. That's when you need it. Heartfelt letter in cursive. 855-839-1210. Gary in Newtown. Hey, Gary. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. I got to tell you, today's callers they're the best today. It's crazy how many people call in. I love hearing more and more people call. It's just wonderful.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, I do
You're
too.
welcome. So I'm looking at a list right here, and I saw it over the weekend, and the top 5 largest worst firefighters in U.S. history are the one in Maui. That was in 2023. Then the next 5 are California, 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 and California, one dating back to 1933.
And what's the reason, do you think? Just
California, if you haven't been there, I know you have, but for those who haven't, it's only green where you water it. Everything else is a desert. It's a freaking desert.
Yeah, I forget the underbrush, what that's called, but yes, that's what it's built on. Yeah, so it's in a tenuous spot. That's why you have to have really competent people to deal with this.
I don't know how you have the largest ocean on the planet sitting next to you and you can't get water to do a fire. That befuddles me. And we're in 2025.
Right, and even if there's some concern with salt water in some instances, but desalination plants would be a great project. Israel and others would show them how to do it in a heartbeat. Gary, it's because the bottom line is they really don't care about competency ultimately, and it bit them here, so their only fallback is to say climate.
It's climate's everything. I mean, out there, it is climate, and the idea is you live in a desert, so it's going to be climate forever.
Exactly. What's your side, Gary?
So I read a good book recently. It was about the Rudolph Diesel. It was a fantastic book, and one of the greatest things about it were the facts that he had in it with respect to Standard Oil, which is leading to my side question. And I learned that John D. Rockefeller grew up in Ohio. His dad basically was a no good guy. Left him after stealing his lunch money with I think 3 or 4 brothers and sisters, and he became so wealthy at one time his wealth was estimated at 3% of the United States GDP. 3%.
Wow. That is a very good answer. Yeah, Rockefeller was not born rich or anything like it. All right, 855-839-1210. You get a line. So what we're watching for, President Trump is going to go there. I'm sure that we are going to contribute the federal tax dollars. But how do you place strings on these people? They may say anything. They're not going to recall people in charge to say to get this money that were the actors who set up this whole situation. No, they won't do it. Can't leave people stranded that are living there, hundreds of thousands of them, one way or the other. How do you get strings on this? I can't think of anything that was successful that dealt with this. Let's go to Robert, Ben Salem, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Dom, and Dan, too, even though he's not there. It's good to talk to you guys today.
Thanks, Robert.
Before I get to the side question, what you're talking about with us sending money to California and what you were talking about earlier with the SALT reductions from federal taxes, all of this is a way for Democrats in these blue areas to tax the rest of America to cover for their shortcomings. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting sick of it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, but let me give you the other side. I'm in complete agreement. The other side is trying to do that with people that are stuck there through no fault of their own, other than they may have voted for these people. How do you politically turn away from that?
All you do is say no. You guys created these problems. You guys fixed them. You cannot ask people in Pennsylvania to subsidize you guys because you vote for people that give you such a high tax burden. It's state and local taxes. Fix it at your level. Don't transfer it on to us. It's the same in California. Their incompetence is leading to us having to send them $250 billion, you said?
Yep, in their neighborhood, yep.
And when Joe Biden did the last bailout, notice we didn't get any money, but the blue states and the blue cities got a bunch of money to cover the deficits that they ran up before COVID. So basically it's just a transfer of getting the American taxpayer at large to pay for the shortcomings of people that you elected in that state. Fix your state. Don't come to us for subsidization. You know what I mean?
Look, I hear you. And the other thing is some of the Trump people starting trouble inside the Republican Party. The string they want is to get rid of the debt ceiling. No. We don't want to get rid of the debt ceiling on top of everything else.
Oh, absolutely. But the point here is that before they started talking about this, I debated this on another station, and my point was the same on the SALT reductions.
Sure.
After Trump suggested this, I'm still saying that's the case. I'm not going to change because Trump's thinking about it. I would say to anybody who has his ear, please think twice. Don't make the Americans pay for the fallacy of voting for liberals in these blue states. Be fair, because it's not fair, Dom. It's really not fair.
I agree. And look, we have a lot of people listening in New Jersey. We don't want them to be harmed by it. They're in a tough spot. But I would argue that we're coming to the rescue. We're going to win the governor's race. I would put it maybe 55-45, our shot, given everything. Presler's on the march there. This is going to be a win. So once we have that, we should start to lessen the affordability, the burden, et cetera. We just got to get the right person that will be the nominee ultimately.
Absolutely, Dom. All it takes is quality leadership, and you won't have to rely on everybody else to cover for your mistakes. That's all.
Exactly. What's your side?
My side question, I decided to go with funny today. I really liked Gary's answer, but my answer is Monty Capoletti. That was Rodney Dangerfield's character in the movie Easy Money, where he had to make nice with his overbearing mother-in-law in order to inherit her fortune. Funny movie, and I won't say the money shot line because I don't think it would play on your radio, but I'm going to go with Monty Capoletti because I'm going with funny today. And you guys have a great day. Always fun, Dom.
I see that. I know of the film, Henry, but do you know of that Monty Capoletti?
I wasn't aware of the film, but as soon as I heard Rodney Dangerfield, I was like, okay,
I thought
I get
he
a
did
sense
several,
of what
right?
Yeah, he's got a few.
Several, where he plays this oafish billionaire somehow or another. Yeah,
like
that's a
Back to
perfect
School,
thing for him. All right, I love Joe of Exton's. His is next here. It's a pretty good one, outside the box, but true. 855-839-1210. Rags to Riches Horatio Alger Day. Get in. It is the lightning round next on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
I zipped him too quickly, and he says, I want my damn flag. Ray in Warminster.
You Christmas story Santa Claus me. I'm hurt.
If you can come to the inauguration party that we're having at the Newtown Athletic Club next Monday, we will do the handoff there.
I'm going to do my very best, and I appreciate you guys very much.
You got it. All right. Can I hang up on him? I don't want to. All right. Yeah. All right, I'm hitting the drop button. There we go. There he is.
Thanks,
Ray in Warminster, joining us here again.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home that you think was full of you-know-what, trying to sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need? Look, if your furnace or heat pump need to be fixed, we'll send one of our technicians out to do one thing: fix it. And if we do think you need a new furnace or heat pump, we'll send out one of our factory-trained teams to install state-of-the-art Trane heating system to keep you warm. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekans.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, only in Philadelphia, the superintendent of Philadelphia schools, Mr. No Snow Days for You Kids, Tony Watlington, has been named the National Superintendent of the Year by an organization. All right, Henry, start the investigation back there in the producer's room on this organization, DALI, District Administration Leadership Institute. They're in Florida. Oh, man. This guy's the National Superintendent of the Year.
Appropriating a famous artist's name,
Yeah,
too?
that's right. Yes, Salvador Dali group here. And how in the world? There's got to be thousands of superintendents. This is who they jumped. And one of his initiatives is one snow day. Remember that in the schedule. After that, we're going to be on homebound Zoom learning. All right, let's go to the great Joe of Exton on Talk Radio 1210. Joe, good afternoon. Happy Monday.
Yes, hello, Dom, and happy Monday. The co-founders of Black Lives Matter went from rags to purchasing 3 luxury homes in California, 2 of which burned, and the third one which escaped the flames.
Joe, that's a very good one. Yeah, just think about it. What was their net worth? And then suddenly, magically, all these homes were in there, the George Floyd summer. That's a great one. Let's go to, let's see. Let's go to Bruce in the Northeast. Bruce, afternoon to you, Bruce.
Tom, good afternoon to you. I was going to answer the question of the day.
Yes.
That she was a female author who had the Harry Potter series, and I always get her name mixed. Is it J.R. or J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she became a billionaire with them, with that.
Yes,
series.
and she's a hero of mine too, Bruce, because she's one of the few people that stepped up to the trans mob and spoke in reasonable terms, and they haven't been able to cancel her. So there's that.
Very good. That's the power she wields.
Yes. Thank you, Bruce. Good one. Let's go to the Earl of Tacony. Earl, what's yours?
Well, Dom, my guy is Mo. He started out as a poor, uneducated Yemeni tribesman. His family moved to Saudi Arabia. He started out as a porter, just pushing a wheelbarrow full of dirt at a construction site. The first skilled job that he got was as a bricklayer. He eventually started his own construction company, and he made friends with the king of Saudi Arabia. He realized that the king was getting old, so he went and built a ramp at the king's palace so that the king could drive from one floor to the other with his car.
Oh.
So he became the favorite of the royal family. When King Faisal overthrew King Saud, he loaned the royal family money so that they could start the Faisal regime. He built Faisal's castle, or palace. He became the official builder of the royal family, built all the mosques in Saudi Arabia, and is listed as one of the wealthiest people in Saudi Arabia that is not a member of the royal family. And that would be Mohammed bin Laden.
Yes, there's a lot in that I know myself. Not every detail there. That is a very good one. We're getting the heavy hitters. Horatio Algerday. I don't know if his books sell anymore. Maybe if, I think there's going to be a thing now for A.J. Brown the next game to be reading what book on the sideline.
Oh, totally. No, everyone's going to be paying attention to that now.
Yeah, it might be a side question there. That'd be an interesting choice. Bill in Palmyra. Hey, Bill, afternoon.
Afternoon, Dom. Hope you had a good holiday.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, I did.
Good. My answer for the side question is a guy named Henry or Hank Rowan, R-O-W-A-N.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in Virginia, of ordinary family, later enrolled at MIT, left to join the military, Army Air Force, came out, got back into MIT, and came out as an electrical engineer. He developed a technology for heating, melting, and welding alloyed metals and other types of material. He founded a company in Burlington County, Inductotherm, and it became so successful that he approached the president and trustees of Glassboro State Teachers College and said to them, look here, I will donate $100 million to Glassboro State if you will establish a college of engineering and rename Glassboro State Teachers College to Rowan College, which is now Rowan University.
That's a great one, Bill. Nice description here. All right, Henry, we had several contenders today. I wrote down a few, but give me a few of them here that you think are worthy to be the winner today.
Yeah, man, this was a tough one. I really like the history lesson at the end there from Bill and Palmyra.
Yes.
But I like the answers of, let's see, John Rockefeller, even though Gary on the phone prefaced, he said, this isn't going to be a good answer. And then he said it to me. I'm like, dude, that's a great answer. What are you talking about? So John D. Rockefeller, and then I like Joe and Exton's answer of the BLM founders.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot. It was outside the box and true.
It was, yeah.
I mean, you talk rags to riches, not exactly a lot of hard work there. Just stir up billions of dollars in damage and then get fancy mansions. All right, let's go with Joe of Exton. Let's put his name into the hat. And away we go. Tomorrow, we hope to be talking with Scott Jennings from CNN, who's masterful. We have the confirmation hearing start tomorrow with Pete Hegseth as the major player. And we also have, from this event with Scott Presler over the weekend, I think they're going to come on, people that are announcing a major, major initiative in, of all places, New Jersey. When you hear what it is, it indicates that Jersey is fertile ground now, somewhat for conservatives or moderate conservatives or whatever. There is a bit of a changing of the guard there. Follow on Twitter until tomorrow at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. And Gates, the former Secretary of Defense in both parties, said it best with what Joe Biden is saying today. This guy's been wrong on every major foreign policy thing over the last 40 years. I would make it 60, but there's that. All right, Rich Cioli is next here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.